What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 36 of the Save Data Cast, your bi-weekly gaming discussion show where we talk, new games, reviews, previews, indie games, stuff we've been playing, Fantasy Critic, all those things. But this week, we're talking ranking consoles of the past, 30 plus, maybe even 40 years. My math is bad. NES is old. I'm your host, David. Joining me, as always, is our captain, Zach.
Happy to be here. Happy to finally put the Wii where it belongs.
S tier, you're right.
Fucking trash tier.
Here to dumpster on the GameCube, we have Chris.
2 points of order. 1, I'm engaged. Fuck it, bitches. And
Woo!
2.
Oh!
Let's go.
Gonna need that for this episode.
Damn
The
it.
engaged one.
The engaged one.
Can't just steal that from Kind of Funny.
Revel in the horror.
Sorry. Not well. That's like when Tim Geddes got engaged. They started introducing him as the engaged one, and I'm like, listen, they don't own that.
That's true.
They don't own getting engaged to someone.
No, just using that as the title, the engaged
I
one.
know.
The
How about this?
engaged.
We can call Chris the Lord of the Ring.
Oh,
I'll take it.
Okay, I dig that.
I'm a Kel Brimbor guy from way back. I'm actually not even lame.
And we are also joined by the hockey stick and sickle herself. That's Elise.
Ready to put the 2DS where it belongs.
S tier. That's where they. Spoilers, everyone. Every single console's S tier. I'm sorry. They're just all there.
If we were rating consoles as Smash controllers, 2DS would be S tier, famously.
Even the Atari 2400 fucking nest here. Wow.
I mean,
I stand by what I said.
It's got Pac-Man.
But I stand by what I said.
it is the worst version of Pac-Man.
it's got E.T.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It does.
It does. And I did put on the cloud things if we want to do that. I don't know if we did it or not, but
That's
I put
just
them in the tier
cruel.
maker.
That's
It is cruel, but
we're gonna say Xbox fine.
No. They deserve this. they paid billions of dollars, did a bad thing, and they deserve to be publicly shamed for it.
I will say,
Yeah,
before we get into any of this, you may look at the order of the images under tier maker and be like, hey, what the fuck is this order? And I'll let you know, when you upload all the images, tier maker puts them in an order. I don't know what order. It was alphabetical order. So I uploaded all of them. They were all sorts of wonky because none of the things were in good alphabetical order. And then I went in and renamed all of them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 35. So they would be in alphabetical order. Based on release date. Which is what the thing looked like when I hit create template. And then as soon as I went to the actual page, they're shuffled. It doesn't fucking matter.
I was going to say, these are not either alphabetical or chronological order.
What do you mean? The first console was the PlayStation 1, followed by the Virtual Boy.
The NES came out in 2015.
And Mackie says tier maker is an F tier list maker.
That's accurate. It's also one of two.
And Mackie, you bring up a good point with a tier name. Because before we get into the actual assigning of consoles to tiers, we need to name our tiers like proper tier makers that we are. And I would like to start off with what I think should be the D tier, or the F tier, however you want to look at it. I think the tier should just be called Virtual Boy. Which, spoilers for where the Virtual Boy is going to be, but...
it really only made this cut because of David.
That's the only reason it's even here.
It had 21 games in total, which is...
And you took damage as you played it.
I think 13 of them released in the States, and I think 18 of them released in Japan. So,
wait, that doesn't add up.
Some of them released the same. There's some crossover ones.
Oh, okay, I'm stupid.
So I think D tier is Virtual Boy, which will be funny if I manage to get the Virtual Boy into the C tier. But
it would be funny.
It would
you
be
won't
funny.
Be able to.
I won't, but it would be funny. What do we want to name these other ones?
S tier is 2DS.
No, we only name a console a tier after a console for the bottom one. All right.
S is I don't know.
DS tier is actually very funny.
Fucking the banger tier, like
capital C consoles.
Sure.
Not only bangers.
Yeah.
I like the 2DS tier, but that's just me.
Capital C consoles.
We'll make a like almost perfect.
Better
Like
than
all-
GameCube.
Fuck you, Chris.
Literally,
A is almost perfect. B is better than GameCube. C is
Fuck
GameCube.
you!
Wow.
Fuck you! The
Fucking
GameCube
Christ.
is great. It has so many good games on it.
Can B be like better than the Wonder Swan, which we aren't even rating?
The fuck is a Wonder Swan?
It was a
I
Game Boy
wonder-
competitor.
I wonder what's in a Wonder Swan.
Yeah, that's the joke I was going for.
Right, that's good.
B is
What if B is just better?
good.
It's a better console.
Yeah,
B is good.
B is just better. Okay.
It's better.
Better.
Is C like competent?
I feel like we need another tier below
C
that.
is,
Then.
could be better.
Could be better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Okay, that's good.
That's
That's good.
B doesn't have games.
Oh, do we want to add a tier? Can I add a tier?
We might as well.
Yeah,
Do
should
we
probably
really
have a
need another tier? Is what? There's only like what?
You know, we'll leave it like that. There's 35 on this list.
35?
There's 35.
Do we need more than?
We'll leave
5
it like
tiers?
this. If we decide midway through that we need a tier between Could Be Better and Virtual Boy, we'll add it.
If those two tiers get bloated and we're like, well,
And then we have to re-rate everything that's in those two tiers.
that's fine.
Fucking kill me.
It's only 35. Who cares? It's not like we're doing fucking.
Chris, do you remember when we were ranking the fucking Nintendo consoles?
Yeah, we did it more complicated though. We all made a 1 through
did.
10 list.
That's true. All right. So we got our tiers. At the top, we got capital C consoles. Below that, almost perfect. Below that, better. Below that, could be better. And at the bottom, we have Virtual Boy.
The back and
Yeah.
forth between those two is very funny.
Yeah, better. It could be
I just
better.
love how we're gonna be talking about this and we'll be like, well, this console could be better, or it could be better.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
All right. Shall we get this show started? Because I feel like this is gonna take us some time.
Let's
do
get
it.
in. Let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's jump
Let's do
in.
it, gamers.
And let's do it by rough order release year.
Okay.
So I do have.
Oh, we're
that
not
on
doing
the
it in this
side.
podcast order that's on
No,
screen
fuck
currently.
this order. This is stupid.
Thank you. I approve and appreciate you.
Tier
Do
making,
you
you're a
have
piece of
like
shit.
this list in release order that we can like read off?
I have a folder that I can screenshot and send you all.
No, just read it off as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just read it off.
Just do your
It's
thing.
fine.
So first one that we have is the Atari 2600. That
Booty.
It could be better.
It's booty.
It fucking sucks, dude.
I mean, but think about it in terms of importance
No.
to
Yeah,
console.
no, this
No.
was not a Virtual Boy tier because it was like the first
Fucking-
one, right?
The
and, like,
video games market crashed because of the fucking games they put on this thing. It sounds like trash. Like honestly, hearing any game, literally any game played
that's not
on
accurate.
this thing,
That's not accurate. No.
you take psychic damage
No,
from
no,
the
no.
audio.
Have y'all held
No.
the fucking controller though? The
It's
joystick?
bad. It's
fucking worse.
Booty.
It's really shit.
so bad.
the controller's
It's not a
terrible.
fucking joystick. It's actually only 4 directions.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's
Well,
it should
and then
be
there's
more.
some of the older one, like some of the versions of the 2600 have the like turn thing that isn't even a.
Mm.
Oh, right. It's that racing
They
game.
got the fucking-
Right.
Was it the 2600 or was it the next one that had like the phone pad with the wheel?
That's not this one. That's the later.
That's not this one. That one's not on this list because fuck that.
Okay.
If I had my druthers, it's Virtual Boy tier. I fucking hate this.
I think we put it in could be better because, as every other console later would show, games can
See,
be better.
Here's the thing: we do have the Atari 7800 coming up.
Does anybody know what the difference is?
Which
It's-
one had ET on it?
They both did.
It's
It was so the 7800 was backwards compatible
Right.
and had a better
Oh.
controller. and had more games.
Well, that one is better,
Oh,
so therefore this
wow.
one should go and could be better.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we can put this one in Could Be Better or Virtual Boy, and I'd be
I'd say
okay.
put this one in Virtual Boy. You can put the other Atari a little bit higher, but like this one is booty blat. Like I hate this console with a passion.
I want to say
Alright.
it's the first one. Like they didn't have. I mean, they had arcades to go off of, but those was like the first home console. It deserves to be at least not in Virtual Boy tier. Is what I'm saying. It's bad. It's really bad. But it was a pioneer.
I mean, hey, listen,
think that's
Elise.
something
So was the Virtual Boy. All right.
Yeah.
So was the
for my
Virtual
money-
Boy.
For
So-
my money, hate this thing. If y'all want to argue over it's the first, it could be better, then fine. But like,
I'm all for putting in the Virtual Boy tier just so we have something else in the Virtual Boy tier.
I
other
don't
than the
care
Virtual
anymore
Boy.
because we spent too long on the Atari.
All right, 2600 Virtual Boy tier.
great.
Sorry, Atari. Next
I'm
one.
not. You're out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, they exist still. They're just making a
Make
hotel.
hotel.
We
That
should
Chris,
go there.
according to Chris, famously, he could have sex in.
That's true.
They're also making that like weird emulator console.
No, that's in
Argument,
television. In television's doing that.
Oh, you're right.
What was my argument, Zach? It was that Sega hasn't made anything I can have sex in or something like that.
No, yeah, it was.
And Chris, you're objectively wrong on that too.
It's on. It's
Yeah,
on
it's
our,
true. You
it's
can
on our
fucking club
TikTok.
Sega.
It's on our TikTok, but I think it was like, what do you think is better, the Atari Hotel or one of the like Intellivision console, like the emulator console?
Oh,
Chris-
right.
Chris instantly said the Atari Hotel because I can have sex in it. And it was an immaculate answer.
I'm correct.
Oh, you are. Speaking of Atari, the last thing that's Atari that's going to be on this list, because none of us played the Jaguar or whatever the fuck it was.
I've seen one.
Yeah, sorry.
I have seen one in a museum, literally, but other than that, no. Next
Seen
we
one in
have
a
the
zoo.
Atari 7800, which is really just the 2600, but has a better controller that is like hand shaped and has extra buttons and an actual
S
joystick.
tier.
Sure,
And
it
it-
could be better, I guess.
Backwards
Yes.
compatible, and it has some really fucking good games on it. Like
Could be better.
Does
it
it?
has Food Fight, Defender 2, fucking the skateboarding game whose
Oh,
name I could never
wow.
remember, where you skate through a
Defender
warehouse
2,
turning off all the
whoa,
lights.
The sequel to the Defender. Whoa.
Pole position? Come on, baby. The pole position games are
Pole
fucking
position is a good game.
iconic.
Listen. I can prepare to
Pole position is
qualify all I want in fucking pole position, but like, no, I'm sorry. Pole
I think-
position is what I
listen.
do on Tuesday nights. All right,
All right.
it
Uh,
could be better. Is all I'm trying to say.
the pole is in position on Tuesday.
Winner. Could be better. Winner.
Could be better. Yep.
You can't argue with that.
Oh. Fucking Christ. I didn't think we'd be doing this early.
Oh, man. The chat enjoyed that joke. I'm
Oh.
sorry, Katya. I said it right before you typed it in the chat.
I
Damn.
guess we're quick shooters on the jokes today.
Oh, I've got all Tuesday night.
All right.
Oh man, if you haven't heard the Tuesday night jokes, you are very confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Which I think originate from like a random like fucking is that a Sonic 06 joke?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah. All right, we're done with Atari. Atari's finished, just like in real life. Next one,
Atari barely limps into the beginning of the console war and then promptly dies, just like real life.
just like real life. Next one, we have the NES.
Here's the thing: the NES kind of sucks.
At the time, it was fucking incredible.
Now, here's the thing.
What?
Yeah, it's also 2022.
I'm
Like,
not
yeah.
giving it the benefit of the Atari. Like the Atari 2600 is the only one I'm giving the benefit of. It was the first because it was like basically the first. The NES isn't that. It was the first like after the video game crash. But fuck
And
that.
Also,
It
like
had
the,
Mario, which is kind of shit now, and that's like it.
also like the SNES is everything the NES was, but just better,
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
purely and objectively.
Mhm.
For my money, I say NES gets better. It blew everything around it out of the water, and then we genuinely made a lot of better consoles afterwards.
I think it could be better because and which would be proved evident by Nintendo slapping Super on the name a couple of years later
and being so much better in so many ways.
No, I will say this. One thing I do want to request is that halfway through we go and rebalance a few things.
That's fine. We can do that. I'm fine with
If you want to put it in could be better, that's fine. I think it deserves better. But
if we reach the middle of this and go, oh no, we fucked up, that's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, if we're talking about influence, I think the NES would be much higher on the list because the NES is incredibly influential. However, I do not want to go back and play literally any NES games on Nintendo's Virtual Console for the Switch, whereas I do want to play the SNES ones.
What about Starman?
I don't even know what the fuck that is, so no.
It's a bad game for the NES.
But the NES again, super influential. Not knocking that. Overall, I think it could be better though. Could be better.
I'm putting in could be better as well.
It's 3. And could be better.
That's 3.
Fine. Also, we got a couple of follows during this. Raijin Renegade, as well as Ashes in the Hourglass. Thank you very much for the follow.
Yeah, thank you both. Sophie, Mario does truly hate women. Could be better.
It's true.
Scott Cramel says Punch Out is still fun. Punch Out fucking kicks ass.
Punch Out's a
First
great
Punch Out game. It's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I never liked Punch Out at any point.
Zach,
in
the
my
Punch
life,
Out guy.
I do. I am the Punch Out guy.
Good.
Love Punch Out.
Next one, we got a system I could physically not care less about, the Sega Master System.
Yeah, no.
It's a fucking Master System, innit?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
I love it.
It's nothing, but it's also not terrible. It's got some Sonic games that are actually kind of good for what they were.
That's true.
Which is downgrades of the.
Wait.
Sonic
Didn't
games.
Sonic not come out until Genesis?
It didn't, but they backported it or
I'm not counting
That
that.
doesn't fucking count.
That's the only thing I know that's on the Master System, and I have played some of those games. And honestly, I kind of like the Genesis ones.
I know there's a Ghostbusters game because of Greg Miller. That's really all I know.
Yeah, and it's booty.
My point is, I don't think this deserves
Famously bad.
I never want to play this Virtual Boy tier. I think this is bottom could be better.
It's got Altered Beasts.
Oh, I do love Altered Beast, only because of the early voice acting in video games.
And the fucking soundtrack fucks for the time.
Does it make it to could be better, or is it Virtual Boy?
It's probably Virtual Boy.
I'm saying it could be better.
I'm scrolling through the Double Dragon. That's not bad. That's just an arcade port, though.
I mean, that's gonna be true of a lot of the early games.
That's true.
A lot of the early consoles.
I would say it goes the very bottom of could be better too.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, Zach. That's what I'm saying, Zach.
Yeah,
it's got James Bond The Duel.
It's a thing where
sure it does, Chris. Sure.
If I had my druthers, NES would be in better tier. This would be below it, but I understand.
It's got Clax.
I mean, if we have time and we go in and order it, NES will probably be near the top. It could be better. I'll be honest.
For sure.
We can do that right now.
Okay, this actually has some pretty good. This has some pretty good ports. Actually, it has Miss Pac-Man, Mortal Kombat 1 through 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ninja Gaiden. There's some good.
Yeah. Sophie points out the Master System does have the Master System box art,
which is the
famously
worst.
dunked on so many times.
That's fun. Oh, it's got the RoboCop one.
Fucking graph
I
paper.
just got to it. Yeah. I just got to it in the list.
All of the cover art looks like, hey, so our plant that prints box art, they have a lot of overstock graph paper. Can we just use that?
Can we work that in?
Yeah. And shout out to the several people from Brazil and South America that are cheering for this because Sega did a lot better in South America.
They did.
I was wondering why Brazil is listed separately in the region list.
In Brazil,
crazy
Sega beat Nintendo by a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm on the Wikipedia article,
really cool.
and Brazil has its own tab for releases.
Yeah.
Well, huge there. Next, which one is this? We have the Mega Drive, which I think is the Saturn? No, Genesis.
That's the Genesis.
Yeah.
Sorry. We got the Mega Drive / Genesis, depending on where the fuck you are at.
I mean, I think we're all gonna say that SNES is better than Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Is that a question?
Undoubtedly.
Hold on. The SNES is better, obviously.
Yeah.
But at the time of release, this thing was better than everything else.
Yes. No, I'm saying put this in better.
I
I'm saying
agree.
put this in better, and then put SNES in like high better or almost perfect.
This
We're
is
gonna have,
this
we're
is
gonna have to do
this,
some rebalancing later,
the
but I agree.
Genesis is probably Sega's best console,
Yeah, no, I
with
agree
the
with that.
exception of the
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Oh, we'll get to that,
later.
Zach. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It also had like genuinely one of my favorite like sound systems of a console.
It does
That's
have a
great
music-
sound system.
does
Music
have a good sound chip.
on Genesis games is fucking incredible.
Fucking Sonic 2, are you kidding me?
Very good sound chip.
And Knuckles.
He doesn't chuckle. He'd rather flex those muscles.
But he's
They had
certainly
that flash
involved.
processing.
yeah,
I
yeah,
fucking love the term blast processing.
Blast
so
processing.
much.
Blast
Genesis
processing
does what
was literally
Nintendo
nothing,
don't.
right?
Oh yeah, dude. Genesis does what Nintendo don't was so good.
It's completely
Easily one of the best marketing
So
campaigns
good.
in all of video games.
Yeah,
Period.
it's so memorable. You know,
Yeah.
Sega's ages backwards? No. But do you know that they do what Nintendo don't? Yeah, you fucking
Yeah.
do.
No,
Yeah.
Samosa, we haven't gotten to WiiWo yet. That's 3D Sonic.
Yeah,
WiiWo the
That
Hedgehog
was-
King is
that's-
3D Sonic, okay?
That's a Dreamcast game legally. You know, someone gave him like a fake version of it that runs on Dreamcast in theory.
That's amazing.
that's incredible.
It's awesome.
Love that.
All right, moving on. We have the Game Boy, the original one,
Oh,
black
Game
and
Boy's-
white.
Game Boy's pretty great. It's got a lot of problems. It didn't have a backlight,
It's
so it's impossible to look at.
the.
This
I mean,
thing-
the
this thing
backlight
was-
thing didn't get fixed for like
A
15
long-
years.
Game Boy-
Like,
here's the thing about the Game Boy that is like hard to kind of wrap our heads around today. This console didn't have another analog for like 10 years.
yeah.
They just were like, well, the Game Boy is selling a bagillion.
Actually,
And also,
Zach,
the
that's
Game Boy-
not true. We'll get there in a minute.
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I
8D
mean.
batteries.
You know what I mean.
I mean, listen, the fucking original Game Boy took 4 AA's too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
fine
yeah.
at the time.
but it also didn't run out in 6 hours.
We're coming for you next Game Gear.
Yeah, fucking Game Gear. Like
Cadillac of
the Game Boy also was literally made to use like spare parts that they had lying around so they can make it super cheap. Literally at launch, this thing was $100, which
It can survive a bomb.
obviously is different
Can and
because
has.
inflation is a fuck,
Yeah.
but like still that's like
Yeah.
unbelievably cheap for a console.
My hot
be-
take here is actually that it could be better. Because every other
Crazy.
handheld console Nintendo will make will be better than this.
Yeah,
That's true.
but
Well, unless you count the Virtual Boy.
I think it needs to be better.
I don't
I
count the
think
Virtual
it's
Boy.
At least better.
I'm
Also,
with
think of the
Zach on
fucking
better.
game. Think of the games on this thing. It was like black and white, had like a tiny screen, but had like almost the processing power of like an NES.
Yeah.
And the
Oh.
games.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
blast
no, what?
processing.
No.
It was
Okay,
relatively.
yeah,
It was
Crazy.
relatively close.
Really? Okay.
The Game Boy came out. I want to say like 6 years
89.
almost.
Yeah, that's
after
true.
the NES, which
It was-
is
it was like
enough time
89.
for the processor to catch up significantly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Lots of people in the chat pointing out it did survive an explosion.
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Several
you're right, it was
times.
6 years.
I've
It was 6
I have been in front of a piece of glass holding that exact Game Boy.
So have I. It's in
Yeah,
Nintendo New York.
Yep, it is.
yeah, it is. Scott
Speaking of
in our
games, though,
chat
it's a
says
fucking-
Game Boy is made of adamantium. No, it's made of Nintendonium.
Stupid.
No,
Yeah,
like-
we had fucking Metroid 2.
Shigeru Miyamoto mines it in his backyard.
Yeah. I mean, it also introduced the world to fucking Pokemon.
Yeah,
Which
Pokemon,
like
fucking Pokemon. Metroid
I always
2,
associate color to Pokemon,
Mario
but you are correct. Yeah.
As do I.
the Mario Land series, which are like actually better than most of the 2D Mario games.
I think you're a little crazy.
I don't like these games, but it introduced the fucking Mario Land.
You
games, too.
It did not, Elise. That is the Virtual Boy.
Oh fuck.
No,
Shut the
Wario
fuck up,
Wario
Virtual
Land
Boy.
was Game Boy, wasn't it? Or is that
Yeah,
Virtual
Mario
Boy?
Land was Game Boy then. Yes.
Yeah.
You convinced me with Pokemon. Put it in better. It's fine. Thank you.
I mean,
You're-
listen, it's going to be
you're right.
better, and our next competitor, which is the Sega Game Gear, is probably going to be and could be better.
Yeah,
Could be, but I put it in fucking Virtual Boy. It's terrible.
It's not that bad.
I think I'm the only person who played the Game Gear here. Is this true?
I've held one. It's very heavy.
It's
You're
very
probably the
heavy.
only one that used like an original one, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I thought this thing was actually kind of cool. I only had like 4 games for it. One of them was Columns.
Oh, you had half the library. That's nice.
Yeah. I thought it was dope as shit though.
One of them was
Big-
columns. Fucking
Big
hell.
colored screen in my hands.
True.
But I mean, putting it in could be better is I think where it deserves to be. Personally,
Okay.
It's one of those
I'm
things
good
where
with
like,
that.
it is the worst portable console I've ever owned. That is
yeah,
why.
it's
Have you owned a Vita?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
The Vita is incredible.
It means life.
the Vita does.
The
mean
Vita
life.
genuinely top tier portable console.
Actually,
Yeah.
I know people do love the Vita. Just have
Scott in our
games.
chat did pretty much accurately nail the Game Gear of like the battery life was terrible, and
That,
it
like,
didn't
genuinely,
have killer apps or anything like the Game
This
Boy
thing
did.
cost you like $20 a day to fucking play it because
Yeah.
of the battery. This is ridiculous.
How many batteries was it, Zach? 6?
6.
It's 6, yeah.
6 AA
Six
batteries,
AA.
and it would run out in 6 hours.
They're like, we need the extra 2 batteries to supply color to the screen.
yeah, this thing was wild.
Like,
it was gorgeous.
How did
though.
that make it out of testing? And they're like, that's acceptable power usage.
Because you show it to somebody, and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
And
I mean, genuinely, I am certain that at the time, like, they released that, and someone at Nintendo went, oh, fuck, we need color on the Game Boy yesterday.
Oh yeah.
and then they didn't get color on the Game Boy for
Years.
4 years.
years.
It's 4 years.
Something like that.
And that's like all of the Game Gear sales ever, and then off a cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things too where like when I'm a kid, I love the form factor of the Game Boy. As an adult, I'm like, give me the fucking Game Gear.
What about when you're a squid?
What if
that's so many consoles away from.
Yeah,
you.
I mean, I can take anything if I'm a squid. I have
It's
8
also a
arms.
handheld if you think about it, though, Zach.
Or 10.
It's also
10
the
arms. for
fucking
squid.
Wii U.
Yeah,
How
Shut
dare
up,
you.
great
once we get to
console.
the Wii U, I'm a squid now.
God damn
But
it.
right now, I'm a kid.
I'm still a kid.
Pre Wii U, we were all just kids, but now now we're all squids.
God damn it.
Next console, we got a big hitter.
Oh.
We got the Super Nintendo, baby. The Super
That
Nintendo is
almost-
here.
Here, baby.
I can see it being in capital C.
This console is my fucking childhood up until the release of the PlayStation 2. Sorry. This thing fucking slaps.
Yeah,
That Chrono
literally
Trigger.
Every game on it is aged.
Got that
Not every
Simpsons
game,
game.
but
Okay.
90,
I was going to say,
of all
calm down
games.
there a little bit, Zach.
90% of all games have aged really well.
Except for Super Metroid.
Uh,
Such a shame.
Fuck
Yeah.
off. Metroid is so
I
good.
have so much respect for Super Metroid, but also I do not want to play that game.
We can't start the Metroid discourse.
Yeah, but it's
Metroid
definitely
Super
like
Discourse.
a really, really good console.
SNES
Almost
fucks.
everything else on this list right now, I do not want to play these games. I might
What?
play like Donkey Kong 60 or Donkey Kong 94 on the Game
You
Boy.
picked one of the worst games to. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm kind of with Elise. Like I don't want to go back really to anything before the Super Nintendo.
But
Yeah.
there's-
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah,
countless
yeah.
Super Nintendo games that I would pick up and play right now. And
Oh,
have a great time.
sorry. I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying I wouldn't go back to play any of the games on the Super Nintendo. My
No, no,
bad.
Oh
I'm
no,
saying Super Nintendo is the first
Great.
one where it's like that's the bar for like
Yes.
I would want
I-
to play these games nowadays.
first
I agree with
one
that.
too that I think has like an actually like decent controller.
Yeah, honestly, really good controller. I have a fondness for the NES controller because I just used it
It's
so
a
much.
fucking rectangle.
Yeah, but also like I liked that even like in my kid baby hands I can hold it differently, like for like punch out and shit, like hold it in a different way. But that's very niche usage. This NES controller is actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, my only problem is like as an adult, I feel like it's a little too small, and that's my only problem with the Super Nintendo controller. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
But like other than that, the thing works pretty freaking well. Yeah, I'm with y'all. I think it could be capital C console. SNES fucks. The games
Yeah,
on it fuck.
Throw it up there, baby.
Also, the thing doesn't die. My 1990 SNES
Same.
still fucking works. I have done
Same.
Awesome.
and I have done no maintenance on it. Zero. It just works.
Hey,
I bought one from a flea market.
You,
and it's still
you
fucking
blew
working.
on the cartridge slot plenty,
Which
I'm sure.
you are not supposed to
No,
do. It
that's
makes
not-
it worse, and it
That's
what
still
you do,
works.
But it objectively fixes everything also.
still
so fuck
works.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's just
It's just
isopropyl
taking it out and
alcohol
putting it
does
back
the
in.
same thing and
Yes,
just
it
doesn't damage
absolutely-
the connections. Is really it. Whereas
Shit,
the
the
saliva
Punisher-
does.
Chid 10-bit saying Super Metroid aged well, but I'd still welcome a remake. I mean, yeah,
I
same. I'd
like.
lose my mind.
I don't like Metroid games, but just like give me one that has more aim slots than the ones that it had.
Let the
It'll be
HD
better.
2D team make fucking Chrono Trigger again. Change nothing, just make it pretty. Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna get that eventually. There's
they
no way that's
have.
not
Oh,
gonna
to
happen.
yeah,
be
no,
working on. They
There's
have
no
to
way
go.
that's not gonna eventually happen.
Who technically owns the rights? Swear, right?
It's Square.
Swear.
Yeah.
The fact that they
And
fucking
they're the ones
remade
making Live Alive. Yeah,
the fact that they put fucking Chrono Cross on the Switch before Chrono Trigger just
Well, they know
baffles me.
they know the money is in a full remake for Chrono Trigger. They know Chrono Cross. Get it out there.
They can do
Yeah.
both to Chrono Trigger if they want to, whatever.
Yeah, you're damn right they can. It probably fucking will, David.
Moving on, we have I think the first like truly 3D console. We got the Sega Saturn, baby.
Oh, but it's a Sega Saturn. I was like,
Yeah.
console, nice, but then it's a Sega Saturn.
Exactly.
It had,
I mean, it was a console.
I built you up and then
And,
shot you down with telling you what the console was.
loud sweating. It had
Let's see.
It had Sonic games.
Sonic Jam, Virtua Fighter 2,
Marble Blast.
Sonic R, Nights into Dreams. Like,
Oh, don't talk about Ice and Dream. That game's terrible.
Soapy in the chat's like, I've seen devs talk about developing for Saturn, and they've said not great.
Yeah,
X-Men versus Street Fighter.
If was Saturn also the one where like EA like made their own cartridges when they weren't supposed to?
yes.
that
So
Saturn?
the
Yeah.
fun thing about the Saturn. Oh no, that was the Genesis.
Oh,
that
that's
was
this.
Genesis,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I like that.
The reason the Saturn failed though is because that was the console that Sega was like, we're not going to tell anybody about it, and we're going to shadow launch it.
Including
Oh.
devs.
No, not just devs, but including fucking retail stores in the 90s. So basically, Sega called up fucking Walmart, if Walmart's even existed in 1994, and we're like, hey, so we have this thing that you have to pay $400 and you can put it on your shelves for $500, but we can't tell you what it is. Do you want to do that? And they're like, no, fuck off. That sounds terrible.
I am going to unbelievably go up to bat for the fucking Sega Saturn right now.
No, you
because
idiot.
it has a lot of very good games on it.
Are they
including-
ports of arcade games, Chris?
Not all of them. Shut up. Including House of the Fucking Dead, great game. Darkstalkers,
Great
3,
game in an arcade.
Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, and Street Fighter Alpha 3. And most importantly, on top of them all, Fighters Mega Mix, motherfucker.
I don't
That
even know what
car
that is.
from Daytona
Yeah.
USA. is
Oh,
in this.
okay. Virtual Boy's here then.
okay. Was it the Saturn or the Dreamcast? Like, basically an entire arcade, like, cabinet motherboard inside it so that they could have arcade perfect port.
Is that a thing?
I believe that is this because in the Wikipedia article I'm reading, it says these games were praised for their faithfulness to the arcade counterparts.
Okay.
So
I think that deserves something, especially
Okay.
because, like,
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
also,
I'll
like-
give it.
like,
I'll give it.
we are dunking on like arcade ports, but that is a lot of what it was at the time, especially for Sega,
Mhm.
who's making bajillions of dollars in Japan just running arcade.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
Okay, we can put it above the Virtual Boy tier.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
it
this
could be
is-
better,
I
but
think
like,
this could be better.
yeah.
It's pretty
I'm okay
low.
with that.
It's not Game Gear low, but it's pretty low.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
I think it's lower than GameCube.
Oh yeah, the rest of us do, Zach. Look, Chris.
Okay.
All
Come
right,
on. I guess the Game Gear, at the very least, you can use to kill a man.
folks, it's here. Sony has arrived.
God
It's the
damn.
PlayStation 1.
Wow. What a moment in video games.
The first of these consoles that I actually, like, owned as a kid.
Wow.
Well, I got it when I was, like, a teenager with, like, $70 at a used game store, but still.
Nintendo went from having one piece of competition they didn't really give a shit about to oh fuck, oh no, oh god. They're so competent. How did they get so competent?
Yeah.
Which rose from a Nintendo Sony collaboration. Also, let's not forget this.
Yeah, which Nintendo fucking shut down like idiots.
The story behind that is the most buck wild thing, and is incredible. So,
Nintendo made their own competition and then
they
lost to their own competition.
They did.
Yeah,
You fucking
badly lost.
Any of our viewers or listeners don't know, Nintendo was going to make the next console with the help of Sony. And
Sony was doing like sound chip and a few other things.
A lot of R&D on it, and then like completely fucked over Sony and like announced publicly that they were working with another company.
Like the day after they announced the thing existed. Like that's how quickly it was canceled in 24 hours after announcement, which is just insane.
But also, they like idiots didn't realize that Sony technically owned the rights to the sound chip, the motherboard, and I think the controller as well. So Sony just said, "Oh, okay, we'll just finish it, idiots."
Yeah.
Chat's asking where the CDI is. Virtual Boy tier. There you go.
What CDI? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Here's my pitch for putting this in Almost Perfect: is that it was extremely influential at the time. It was like, other than the Saturn, which we just talked about, basically the first mainstream 3D console. It had some great games. Also, I don't want to play most of those games.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Counterpoint Final Fantasy VII, Counterpoint Metal Gear Solid 1, Counterpoint...
Yeah, I said most of those games, but like Final Fantasy VII, I tried to play that.
Playing the original PlayStation version without like speed ups is
this generation in general, be it either PlayStation 1 or N64, the games have aged the worst of all the 3D games.
Absolutely true.
Obviously true.
Which is why it's not as timeless as the SNES, which is why I think it's almost perfect.
I actually agree with that.
I agree with that too.
Despite arguing with Elise, I do agree with her 100%.
I still think it's almost perfect, just not for the same reasons that Elise. I think it's a like fan fucking tastic console. I do think it doesn't age well in a lot of respects. Mostly I think are like visual and sound, not so much play for me. But some do age poorly in play, and those ones I don't play. So like, turn-based games and stuff? Great. Playing like fucking Ape Escape 1 with like original hardware?
This was where the dual analog stick started, and then the DualShock.
Well, and the dual analog stick started most of the way through the PlayStation 1.
Yes. And none of the games that I know of on the PlayStation 1 actually like used it. What we use the dual analog stick now, which is like one stick for moving, one stick for aiming, or like camera.
Yeah,
it was like Ape Escape used it to like swing your fucking net at the ape.
Yeah, they did.
And other than that, you're moving around using like the D-pad in 3D, and then like using the shoulder buttons.
Controls back then were fucking rough.
This whole generation
they didn't know
was
what they were
growing
doing.
pains.
They were just throwing controls at the wall and see what happened.
This generation is growing pains. Like that's what it was.
What they managed to do with those growing pains, like in place with the PS1 and the N64, which I assume we're about to talk about. But.
Yeah, I was going to argue this.
There is one between this PlayStation and N64.
Where's Wii U? Not yet. He's not yet.
Not yet.
I was going to say we could put this in better, but I agree with you. I think this is almost perfect.
I
think we're all on the same page. Almost perfect.
It's also it is the second best console for fighting games ever. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Only second to the Dreamcast, you fucking idiot.
I mean, the Dreamcast was the first one to have Third Strike, if that helps.
Hang on, are the rest
The Dreamcast had almost half of its library was fighting games.
Are the rest
they were all Street Fighter.
Team Maker, you're wild. Team Maker's fucking insane. Most of the rest of these are in order. I'm really whatever.
Wow.
So before the N64, we have the fucking Virtual Boy. Which I will say, before everyone dunks on it, because it probably deserves it.
Definitely deserves it, but go ahead anyway.
The Virtual Boy did some cool pioneering things with 3D, with VR. However, I acknowledge that most of those things caused physical pain to the people that were playing the console, and therefore should go in the Virtual Boy tier.
I mean, how much of a swerve would it be, though, if we didn't put the Virtual Boy in the Virtual Boy tier?
It would be funny as fuck.
It would be funny, but it would also be inaccurate and
listen,
devalue the
listen.
tier.
You're right.
Listen. Was I gauging the room earlier with the Atari talk to decide whether influential meant we could put stuff higher on the tier list? Yes. Yes, I was. And was I then going to use that to argue for the Virtual Boy? Absolutely. Did we then put the fucking Atari 2600 in Virtual Boy tier and completely nullify all of my hopes and dreams? Yes. So, so it's... there you go, Virtual Boy.
It's a terrible console. Fun fact, I put one of these on my fucking head. I think it was at like Comic-Con or some shit like that, and instantly went, wow, this is so uncomfortable.
Why did they try to make this a portable console?
Because they fucking are they're wild for it.
Why didn't they just
It's a terrible argument.
I am not saying it was a good argument.
Okay, fair enough.
You can carry the GameCube. I wouldn't call it a portable console.
It has a handle.
They were releasing the N64 like what, a year later? Why didn't they just like make this an add-on?
I don't even think it was a full year later. I don't remember the years, but like it was really close together.
Separate dev teams that didn't talk to each other.
Yes. Yeah,
and I can prove that because look at that thing's controller and look at the fucking N64 controller. These motherfuckers were not communicating.
Ashes in the Hourglasses. It's portable for muscle builders. I want to fucking go to the gym with one of these on my face.
Like I'm exercising in red VR.
Just start running on the treadmill and just fucking beef it.
Exercising in VR broke. Exercising with the Virtual Boy at your gym woke as fuck.
The Virtual Boy controller sucks, but it's also kind of badass.
It's better than the N64 controller.
It's way better than the N64 controller.
I mean, from a far away distance, it looks almost like a GameCube controller, and that's one of Nintendo's best controllers they've ever made.
When you look at it close up, it's not at all that.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
It's like two one-handed joysticks shoved together.
So B does include. It also has a really good WarioWare game, or not Wario game, but Wario Land game. The first Wario Land game.
Yeah, that causes physical pain when you're playing.
Hey, guess what? I didn't fucking play because it was on the Virtual Boy.
Yeah,
guess what? No one played is on the Virtual Boy. All right, folks. Next, we got our actual competitor to the PlayStation 1. We have the N64.
Oh, hey, it's the childhood box. It has your childhood in it.
Yeah.
Listen,
it has your childhood in it.
This game, the N64 has, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off with this statement, 3 to 4 timeless games that were amazing at the time and are still amazing.
Hold on. Diddy Kong Racing, name 3 more.
I was going to say Ocarina of Time.
Okay, pretty good.
Mario 64.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I would still say it's timeless.
No. I love Mario 64.
And I lost the other one I was going to say. It wasn't Majora's Mask because I don't like that game.
Yeah.
God, what was the other one?
No,
because that's not timeless. That game fucking sucks
one of the worst aging games ever. But of course,
I lost it.
Now only because we did this. The last time we did this episode, did Save Datacast, we ranked PlayStation and N64 games. They tied almost every category as far as how many games.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I agreed with that.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
Like, no, I understand that. I just don't agree with that.
I didn't have an analog stick.
I believe for the time this would actually qualify as almost perfect because the amount of shit they got right.
For the time, yes.
Entirely separately from Sony is fucking incredible.
For the time, yes. However, I will say for game design, I think they were in a lot of ways, and we showed this in the bracket, they were in a lot of ways at the same tier as PlayStation, as Sony. When it came to the console itself, behind. Piece of shit.
I like your point.
Put it at better is where I'm at.
I'm saying either better, top of better, or like bottom of almost perfect.
I think the controller sucks so fucking much that it cannot be an almost perfect.
The thing that blows my mind about the controller is how did we not notice it? Because like I've picked up controllers since then and like been just fine. I picked up an N64 controller. My brain can't remember like where the fuck I would rest my hands comfortably on this fucking
I didn't as a kid.
bitch.
Depending on the game, sometimes I held the fucking right and the middle one, and other times it was right and left.
No,
and then I just reached for the Z.
Nobody ever touched the left one.
I did. I used it most of the time. That was my primary use.
That console did not have a D-pad. I'm sorry.
Primarily, yeah. Listen, I was so stuck with because I had a PlayStation at my dad's house and an N64 at my mom's house, like a true divorce child, and I was so used to the PlayStation, like right left, that I often went to right left for N64 and just reached for the Z button.
Right.
Which was not optimal. 100% not optimal. But yeah, this controller is a piece of shit, and I say it can't be on almost perfect based on mostly the controller alone.
I'm fine to put it in top
That's
of
fair.
better.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had to buy the fucking extra RAM. What the fuck was that?
I did fucking hate that. Well, Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask both needed
Hey, but
that
it
thing.
came with one of the. No, I was about to try and talk up Donkey Kong 64. I can't do that.
Can't do that. No, you're wrong. Jason ain't here, homie.
No, Jason doesn't like that game.
Oh, then you're fucked.
I mean, Jason, I guess, will defend it overall, but he thinks it's easily the worst platform on that console.
The only thing redeeming about Donkey
Smash!
Kong
That was the other
64
game.
is the,
It was Smash. Thank you, Chad.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
the thing redeeming about DK64 is the 4-day stream that H-Bomber guy did.
I will say this. Personally, I like the N64 over the game, over the PlayStation. That's just I grew up with it, so that's more nostalgic to me. But I did rank famously in our Nintendo console tier list. I put the N64 at number 7 out of Nintendo's 14 consoles. So I think putting it in the middle is fine for me.
You good with better?
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I would put it higher though if we cared about ordering the tiers.
I mean, definitely it would be above the Genesis and Game Boy.
You know what? We can order the tiers later if we feel like it.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We'll come back if we have time and people are feeling it. We'll come back and order them.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, which I can't believe it took this long. I didn't realize this came out after the N64. We have the Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
it's
by the way, it's weird that it came out that long after.
Yeah, again, they just coasted on the Game Boy for fucking ever.
This
here's the
console. Good.
Nintendo doesn't consider these separate consoles,
which is wild.
Which is bullshit.
Which is even crazier because obviously the Game Boy can't play all fucking Game Boy Color games. Can't play. I don't think any of them actually.
Yeah. I feel like there's a few that just have their color stripped from them.
Yeah, I think some can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It only took 2 AA's though, so that was important.
But I will say, incredible fucking feature that they did this backwards compatibility in a weird way. If you put a Game Boy game into a Game Boy Color, it gains color.
Sometimes.
That's fucking awesome.
It gets one shade of color.
Yeah.
No, fucking Pokemon Red and Blue getting multiple shades, bitch.
No, they don't.
It's like I would like to have red on the screen, or I'd like to have blue on the screen.
But it can do light blue to dark blue. There's some variation.
That's just grayscale with a fucking hue added.
That's fine.
It's cool. It's cool. I think this deserves better.
This should be right next to the Game Boy because they're the same fucking console.
Yeah.
I think it should be next to but above the Game Boy.
Also, it's above because A, it had more games, and B, it had better games because it was just.
And also, it only used 2 batteries, which
was
very important for poor people like myself.
That's saying, Zach is right. It's one shade. It's one shade, and then Sabosa says Chris is right. Chris supremacy.
Hold on, are you not realizing even the fact that it's one shade that's fucking incredible that they went back and did that?
Oh, it was cool.
That's it. No, that's insane. Imagine going into your fucking boss and saying, "Hey, I want to spend fucking R&D time making sure this thing backwards compatible ups the scale of a game that came out 8 years ago."
Yeah.
Well, the game. The game didn't come out 8 years ago. Let's rephrase that.
How long ago was Pokemon before this?
Pokemon came out actually pretty late in the Game Boy's lifespan.
Yeah, but Game Boy was live for a long time.
Pokemon Blue, 96, buddy. So when was 2 years?
That's 2 years.
Yeah.
And it didn't come out in the actually, Chris, it didn't come out in the US until 98. That may have been a US only thing.
Whoa, is that true?
I don't know for sure.
We didn't get green, so it's actually possible.
The like adding shades may have been a US thing.
That could be that could be a US and PAL Red and Blue exclusive. Actually, I didn't think about it.
Here's one more thing to put the Game Boy Color above the Game Boy. It had translucent purple.
Oh, the best
Top
version
of better.
of the Game
Top
Boy
of
Color.
better.
Yeah, that a boy. Get it up there.
Whatever.
Get it fucking up there.
I mean, so did the N64, so we can move.
I was just saying, I was like, how fucking dare you put the N64 in
I forgot about
this
that.
category?
But I didn't own that version of the N64, so it doesn't count. Also, please release more transparent consoles. They're so fucking cool.
They're so cool.
Oh, okay, cool as shit.
Well, the problem is now, like, there's so many like protective things added in the consoles. They'll just cover the transparent things. But
Oh, that's a good point.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
which is probably why they don't do it. Like the PS5, if you like take off the plates and everything, is just a fucking block of metal for heat distribution, which is not fun.
Isn't pretty.
All right, next. We're going to next gen, baby. We got the Dreamcast.
Yo, let's go! I'm the only person who owned this fucking console ever. Yeah,
I did play it at friends' houses, and it was cool.
I also
though.
played it at friends' houses.
I-
This ends the era of Chris's family owning Sega consoles right here. We never got this one.
Hey, listen. I love the GameCube, or sorry, the Dreamcast.
It has WiiWo.
It does have
We
WiiWo.
were the Hedgehog King,
The
baby.
King Hedgehog, yeah. It also had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 originally before they got ported.
Ooh, Skies of Arcadia.
Has fucking Shenmue.
It does,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Shenmue,
You're
the
right.
worst
So is the
aging
fucking
game
PlayStation
on
2,
Dreamcast.
asshole.
Yeah.
And I think
That's saying
PlayStation
something.
1.
I love this thing, but realistically, it can't be in anything more than could be better.
See,
I mean,
here's
it
my
literally-
argument.
It took Sega out of the race.
Yeah.
It took Sega out of the race. I feel like that was largely because of how fucking expensive the thing was.
Was it like 600?
It was a lot of fucking money.
It was expensive, and then literally 1 year after its release, the PlayStation 2 came out and was cheaper and had a fucking DVD player. in it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is one of the best consoles ever.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, we're gonna get the PS2, but like,
Spoilers. Yeah,
the Dreamcast had so much cool shit in it that like disappeared from consoles and then came back later. Like largely with like their net play and doing like actual updates.
Yeah, the
and
concept
stuff.
of internet.
I mean, PS2 and GameCube had it too, but
Yeah, well,
at
we're
a
out
much
yet.
smaller scale and came out
PlayStation 2
later.
internet's so fucking terrible.
Yeah, Ashes, it is the worst version of Skies of Arcadia because the random combat encounters are way too many. Yep, fix that for the
They're
GameCube
higher in
re-release.
this version? That's fucking
Yep,
bizarre.
They changed it for the GameCube re-release because they were so bad in the Dreamcast version.
Whoa, that's
Wow.
crazy.
They were just so many encounters. People fucking hated
hey,
it.
it all one thing, yeah, it did have internet for Phantasy Star Online, which was
Yeah.
actually the first MMO I ever played.
And
That's
it had
kinda
like
cool.
it had the like weird second screen stuff like before
Yeah.
the fucking Wii U 20 years later. Well, not
Yo,
20, but like
the
12 years
memory
later.
cards were awesome.
it had a lot of cool stuff. Like
But
should it
none of them
probably be
did
and
very
could be
well.
better? Yeah. Could I see it in better? Also, yes, because it did do a lot
Yeah.
of fucking cool shit
It,
and
it
have
had like a solid number of all right games that like stood the test of time. Or
that
at least-
all got ported to other consoles.
but
Yeah.
also mostly.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Right.
Could you play games on the memory card?
Some little ones,
That's
yeah.
fucking cool as shit.
It's
It was
so
basically
cool.
a Tamagotchi that had a memory card in
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
That was pretty much what it
That's
was.
so unnecessary.
It's
And
so cool.
I can completely understand how this killed your company financially, but that's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, I guess
It's
like-
like, what you got over there? You got some cool ass shit.
can we put it
going
like
on?
the top? It could be
Yeah.
better if we do rankings
It
later.
also had Seaman, which is great.
It wasn't. You
It's
don't-
a better version of Hey You Pikachu.
It
I
wasn't.
think, I think
trash.
Yakuza 1 made it onto
it
this
was.
turkey.
I would 5 times a Friday play Seaman over Hey You Pikachu. So
Since no one will remember this, Seaman will return on my next Jeopardy.
Ooh, did not. Ooh, Yakuza 1 did not make it onto this thing. Ooh.
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 Could be better. Are we in agreement there? Could
I'm
be
fine
better.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be better. Next, we have the PlayStation 2.
Oh,
Hearts
baby.
2, baby.
This
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
And
This
1 and
console fucks.
It does fuck.
It
I genuinely to this day think this might have the best library of any console.
it does,
It has
especially
every
when
game.
you consider it's backwards compatible. It can play all
Yup.
PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah.
But like even without that, like all of Cage 1 2 is that all the Jack and Daxter games, all the Ratchet and Clank games, all the Sly Cooper games, like Spyro was on this thing. Everything that was coming out at the time was on this fucking console, and like it lasted so long that it has
And
this huge
this
gallery
console
of games.
had everything at the time. It had a
Call of
fucking
Duty, Medal
DVD.
of Honor.
I mean like extra features. It had a fucking DVD player in it. It had
Yes.
internet for the like MMOs. It had, I
convinced my mom to
believe,
buy it
a
'cause it had a DVD
space
player in it.
to shove a hard drive in.
Yep.
Mainly for Phantasy Star, if I remember correctly.
God damn, that Phantasy Star has to get its shit in.
Or maybe it was Final Fantasy 11.
turn-
It might have been Final Fantasy 11.
You could turn the logo on the front of it.
You can turn the
Setting it-
logo. You
I
can
didn't know
put
that
it
till
sideways
way
or
later in life.
vertical. The whole fucking console. The controller
know
is
when
the
the-
first one with dual analogs that actually fucking
Actually
uses them
work.
well and work. This console, even the GameCube, which came out after this, has a worse version of dual analog. This console is fucking perfection for the
It
time.
did launch with Eternal Ring, so I don't know about
Yeah.
that. but-
Oh
Do
yeah,
y'all
game.
know when
So you said it's
the
incredible?
last released PS2 game was? The
It
last
was
official PS2
it was like
game.
2012 or
game?
2011.
I was gonna say 2012. I was gonna say 2012.
It was 2013.
Oh, it's
from
close. Fuck.
2014.
Wow.
Past 2014. In
Damn.
December or November 2013.
Like
Didn't the PS4 come out in 2012?
yeah, 2013.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people were still. It's like the Wii. People were still
I mean,
putting games on it. Fucking a
this-
decade later.
It's the highest selling console of all time. Like
Is that
what?
true?
155
Isn't-
units?
No,
155 million?
3DS. DS.
No,
No,
it
PS2
higher
outsold
than
the
the
DS.
DS?
Yes.
Really?
Are you fucking for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
insanity.
also a fucking DVD player, so people
Yeah, a
just
lot of
bought it
people
for
bought it
that.
for the DVD player.
That's how I convinced my mom to buy it.
I convinced my dad to buy it when our PlayStation 1 randomly caught fire, so that was cool.
I
Because
also got
it was
one of
playing
the-
too hot of games.
No, I was playing Legend of Legaia, and as much as I like Legend of Legaia, it doesn't qualify for that that level of hype.
And just for completion's sake, I mentioned it for the PS1. I'll mention this one. This is the greatest game console for fighting games ever. It will never be beaten because it had fucking everything and it had Third Strike.
It's honestly like one of the best consoles for games. Period. Like
yeah, for like 3D
it
action
had-
platformers,
it
probably
had
the same.
everything. JRPGs, like RPGs in general. This was
Lot of
like
great
at the same
JRPGs,
time where shooters were coming online, mostly due to Halo on the other side for Xbox, but like
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff in the later half of the PS2.
Yeah, but still, like Call of Duty and Battlefield and shit were on this.
Yeah. Well, Battlefield didn't exist yet, I don't think. You're wrong.
Wasn't there some Battlefield on PS2?
Oh, you know what? I think Battlefield 2 Modern Combat was, which was not a good game, but
Shit, the Punisher also cheered 10 bits and points out PS2 had a Guitar Hero, brought us Guitar Hero.
You're right.
True.
David. Battlefield 3 Modern Combat was on the PS2.
yeah, and that was like the way worse version of Battlefield 2, but
Huh.
still.
Sophie points out also has Finkel's World.
Has Finkel's World and
does
Babe.
have
and
has Babe.
Babe for the PlayStation
Babe
2.
for the PS2. Well, this is capital C
Tower
consoles,
of
right?
Office.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. We spent.
Yeah, no.
We're all just,
10
like,
minutes
hyping
talking
it
about
up.
This console that we didn't need to,
And we didn't
Like,
have we didn't mention a single negative thing about it.
There are no
No.
negatives. What negatives are you going to
No,
bring up?
It was too
It's
good.
not the GameCube.
It changed my life irreversibly that I could never not be a fucking gamer, and for that it's a true punishment.
What a fucking. Also, I will say, especially, like, I cannot emphasize enough when your family does not have a shitload of money, when you buy the next console and it can still play the old games when your last console broke, that
Yep.
is a fucking game changer.
Yep.
Like, life-changing thing, because the two PlayStation 2 games I was going to get in the fiscal year 2021 or 2001 for PlayStation 2, I could still play all my old games, which was like fucking fantastic.
Sold my PlayStation 1 at a yard sale after I got this bad boy.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
This is also another one that I like bought from East Game Store in when I was like 13 or whatever. It was like
It's so good.
um,
Has Kingdom Hearts
because
2
it was so good that I could just like get games for it and know they would be good.
Yeah.
And then Tetsuya Nomura entered your life and you were changed forever.
Actually, no, I played Kingdom Hearts before I got a PS2 because I played fucking Recoded and 358 Days Over 2.
No.
You played 358 before 1 and 2.
358 was my first
What?
Kingdom Hearts game.
You played 358 first and then
And
played
you
more
went
Kingdom Hearts
back?
games? Are you okay?
I've never finished 358.
Please.
Don't.
I
Watch
mean,
the,
yeah, and as you shouldn't
watch
have.
the cutscenes. The story's great. The fucking
Please.
game's terrible.
Oh yeah, a couple
My friend
people in
works
chat
for
also
me,
mentioning
and
Shadow of the
all.
Colossus. The library for this fucking console is
It's
insane.
insane.
We didn't even mention Metal Gear.
Yeah.
In like middle
and
or
3.
like elementary school on the playground.
the best two Metal Gear games, Zach.
Yes.
My
Something
friend
we'll both
left
agree
me 358, and we're still like best friends to this day. So
PlayStation 2, fucking.
Banger. Let's move on. We don't need to keep talking.
We
about
don't
it.
need to, but I want to. Like PlayStation 2 is so
console
fucking
ever
good.
made.
Consoles to
fucking-
talk
Uh,
about.
all right,
It's
all
the
right.
best console ever.
We got more to talk about. We got the GameCube next.
This
Chris,
piece of shit.
Chris, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Why are we starting with him?
So that the rest of us can just dunk on him.
Because the rest of you are going to agree.
I have a feeling I'm going to agree with Chris.
It's just so fucking mid.
Mhm.
It's and here's the thing. I'm obviously biased because at the time I had a PlayStation 2 and was loving life. But like the GameCube to me didn't have games I gave a shit about. It had a few. It has the best Smash game, obviously. It has some terrible Star Fox games. It's got a lot of muddy textures. And it has
PlayStation 2.
yeah, but the PlayStation 2 is better.
I mean, that's fair.
It's just-
I'm not going to argue that.
The thing about this is it had so many less games that actually fucking mattered than its counterpart. And for a lot of things, we'll see the worst / death of various what do you call it? Franchises from Nintendo. We'll see the worst.
F-Zero?
We'll see the worst and last Star Fox games. Well, let's count that fucking one that came
That's
out on the Wii U.
Factually not true,
Terrible.
but
Yeah, that's just
Um,
utterly not true, Chris. I mean, they were
yeah.
bad, but utterly not true that they were the last.
What came out after that other than that terrible one on the Wii U?
Zero.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, which came
I
out
also had
after.
Assault.
Assault was
Yeah, Assault was
No, you're
was
right.
GameCube.
Assault's
Zero was
GameCube.
I'm correct. Moving on. F-Zero also died here, and Metroid in a
Nobody-
way.
I'm convinced that nobody, apart from the one person that gave $40,000 to ask where F-Zero is, nobody else in the fucking planet gave a shit about F-Zero ever. I'm sorry.
Because it was on the
mean,
GameCube. Moving on.
Listen,
No.
would I play?
I will-
if
I
they
will
release
admit-
an F-Zero game for the Switch, I'll play it. But like, I'm not asking for it.
I'll play it in solidarity. Yeah, it did have a good two good Animal Crossings. One or two? Two, right?
Just one.
I think
Just
Just
the
one?
one,
Oh, shit.
which was
Yeah.
a
Just one
GameCube
Animal-
port, or sorry, N64 port, technically.
N64 port.
Doesn't count. Fuck it. Suck it, nerds.
No. I'm sorry.
It's got Pikmin. It's
Yes?
got. It has. I will say, yes, Nintendo's best ever. Regular controller. I think the Pro controller is better, like Switch Pro, but that's an optional
Fair.
controller. So
Yeah,
like
I
best
agree
like
on that.
shipped controller.
Okay.
And
No
I'm
problem,
out of positives.
Fucking Wind Waker, Mario Kart Double
Okay,
Dash, one
okay.
of the best Mario Kart games.
You know what?
The best
hold on.
Mario
You're correct.
RPG,
You're correct.
the
You're
best
correct.
version of Resident Evil 4.
No!
Well,
That's
sorry.
utterly not true. Zach, I'm sorry, that's
Sorry, it's
actually
usually
false.
considered the worst
Sorry,
version of Mario
the
Kart.
original version
There
of
you go.
Resident
Okay.
Evil 4.
Yeah, that's fine. That is, yeah. Wind Waker, you're correct. I apologize. Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door.
Also had Twilight
High
Princess, the game that y'all actually think is good.
do. It's-
Which is a fucking Wii game.
No,
No,
the
it's
worst
a
version of that
GameCube
game is the
game,
Wii
my
game.
ass. Yeah, it's a GameCube game. I'm sorry.
Well, then why did more people buy it on the Wii?
Because more
Because
people
a
bought
million
Wii's.
people bought the Wii and
Because
nobody
it's a
bought
better
you.
console.
Oh, listen.
This thing sucks.
I'm
It
not
needs to
arguing.
be
I'm
better.
not arguing.
It's-
Listen.
It's this game. This is the Dreamcast. It's just a little bit better than the Dreamcast, so it belongs in either the top of could be better or the bottom of better. This console is incredibly overrated, and considering what it was coming out
It is
against,
not overrated.
considering what it was coming out against, I am shocked that it beat the Dreamcast.
I'm actually mostly with you, Chris. There are some great first-party games like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, like
Because that's all Nintendo ever has is good first-party games.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tales
and
Symphonia is
you're
on
not
this,
wrong
not a
about
first party
that.
game.
and in like most of these games I don't want to play. And also, the Wii exists and can play all these games too.
I will say, my top 3 favorite games of all time are all playable on the GameCube.
I was gonna say, I literally just scrolled over to the next page of like games on the GameCube, and both Tales of Symphonia and Beyond Good and Evil are next to each
and
other.
Psychonauts is on the GameCube too, so they're all. It is.
I don't
Psychonauts is on the GameCube?
I don't associate a single one of those games with this fucking console.
No,
I mean,
don't
Tales of Symphonia was exclusive to this console, so you should.
Man, I
Wait, really?
Yes.
fucking love
It got
this
ported to
console
PS3
today.
later, but
Oh,
I
I must have played it on the GameCube and just don't remember. I thought I played it on the PlayStation 2, but obviously
no,
not.
you didn't. Unless you played it in Japan. It was on the PS2 in Japan.
David didn't.
Listen, I love the GameCube. I think the GameCube at best is probably almost perfect, but should probably be even better. Because
I'm good with that.
like the controller is good for Super Smash Brothers and otherwise bad.
I disagree with that.
I disagree.
The C-Stick is a piece of shit.
The
Like,
C-Stick is terrible.
C-Stick is dumb. Like, why?
But no one's defending the
I
C-Stick.
will say,
That's fine, that's
having
fine.
the button
It's
you
not,
press
it's
the most just be the biggest fucking button. Why has no one else done that?
Yeah, that is
Why?
kind of
Why has no one else done that in controller design?
That's very fair. That's a very fair argument. Yo, shout out to the iToy indeed, Sophie. That fucking
No, fuck
snowboarding
the
game was
iToy.
great.
But like otherwise, the GameCube didn't have any of the stuff that like PlayStation or Dreamcast had. Like it couldn't play DVDs. In fact, it played stupid mini discs that required people to make 2 discs for Tales of Symphonia.
Those
Fucking
baby
mini
CDs,
Which
yeah,
I will admit, they're more durable, so they were better for children. But
they're so cool.
they're not cool. They're more durable.
Cool.
Zach, they're like wasteful in every way.
They're
Yeah.
smaller, less disc.
No, they don't even save on material because they require special like.
Oh,
I
Ashes,
know,
Ashes,
I'm
you are
being
right
a
about
dick.
the triggers. You're right about the triggers, but otherwise, besides the triggers and the A button, controller inferior to like DualShock in every way. And
I don't agree. Oh, okay, that I do agree with. Sorry. I
For
was
me,
supposed to say.
at the end of the day, I think the category, the catalog of first-party Nintendo games, with the inclusion of a few rare, cool third-party games like Beautiful Joe, which
Oh, you don't
most
mean Rare at
of-
the
most-
studio? I'm an idiot.
most
I was like, they were on their fucking grave and they made Star Fox Adventure. Why are you defending them?
no. But like, there's a great catalog of first-party Nintendo games. For me, I think this is one of Nintendo's strongest first-party catalogs on the GameCube. I understand I'm in the outlier here. I would put this in almost perfect. If you want to put it in better, I'm not going to be too mad, but I will be a little mad.
Actually, I don't disagree with your point about them having a great first party catalog, but I think that I was actually like this to what I always think about the GameCube is that this is the last time they really tried to play the console game normally. Like they tried to make a
Mhm.
1-to-1 comparison to what everyone else is doing, and they got their
Yeah.
asses kicked because Nintendo has incredible first parties and
Yes.
fuck else.
Mhm.
yeah, and like the way they formatted stuff, especially with like disc sizes and things, just were like, okay, you're not gonna get a lot of the big games. They're just not gonna come to your fucking console. Congratulations.
Ooh. And Mackie does point out GameCube has the best startup animation.
That is true.
That's accurate.
The PlayStation 2 one also high,
But yeah, but the
GameCube is
PS2's is good enough that I'll give it a pass.
PS2
But
is
yes.
fine.
PlayStation-
PS2 isn't
here-
even as good as
here's
the
the thing,
Xboxes,
here's the
original
thing.
Xboxes.
PlayStation 1 and 2
I don't know about
memory card icons.
Fine.
that. It is our logo. You can't hate on that.
No. I mean like the little like game icons when you like manage your memory.
Yeah.
Oh,
You go
oh,
and
yes,
see like
yes,
little
yes.
cool. They're fucking cute. All right, we put in GameCube at top of better or in almost perfect. Where are we?
What?
where
No.
are
It's
mid
like
better.
mid better.
we? Okay, me and Zach are gonna
Fuck
disagree, so we're
you.
putting it in better.
Yes, thank you, David.
Fine.
Thank you, David.
I fought as hard as I could.
It's a better console than the N64.
All right, folks,
Save Data logo is a mashup of the PlayStation 1 and 2.
and a little bit of GameCube
And a little bit of the GameCube.
tossed in.
You'd have to ask the artist. I like David only made the original sketch. Right? Did
Yeah,
I?
the original sketch was based on PlayStation and GameCube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
specifically
Oh, okay.
PS2 and GameCube.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. GBA.
Well,
Game
now
Boy
that we spent
Advance.
2 hours talking about the
We
PlayStation
did.
2 and the
We
GameCube.
did.
GBA fucking rocks.
This thing fucking slaps. There's so many fucking games.
Yeah, GBA, top tier portable console.
I will also say one thing about this, which is really cool, is that this is when they started doing alternative versions of a console, like a handheld, particularly like the SD.
The SP.
SP.
SP, thank you.
Yeah, which
Game Boy Advance SP, immaculate, beautiful, amazing.
I
The
hate
best
that fucking
Game Boy
word.
Advance.
I hate it.
think no one will fight me on that.
Absolutely
Really?
hate it.
Oh,
It's a
was
fucking
charged.
square. I can't hold it well. They were like, hey,
There's also
you know
the-
what? Let's finally make a fucking handheld you can hold other than the fucking Game Gear. And then they're like, you know
Mhm.
what? Let's undo that and put in a fucking SP. No.
no.
SP is a
Give me
piece
that-
of shit other than the backlight. The back y'all
Yeah,
just
but
y'all just love the SP because it finally had a fucking backlight.
No, that's accurate.
I like that I can open and close it.
How do you feel about the Game Boy Micro? Because I don't have a backlight.
No.
I don't know a single human being
That
that's
fits
ever
less
held
than
a
And
my
Game
listen,
Boy.
by the
hand.
time the fucking SP came out, my Game Boy Advance had a goddamn cover that I could put on it, and I had one of those twirly lights at the top. I didn't need a fucking SP anymore. I already had
See,
it
my
covered.
sister had the clear Game Boy Advance and wouldn't let me use it because she was an ass. So I had to wait until either like my mom said no, you have to let him play it, or I got the SP finally, and then God opened his arms to me and said, "Here, my child, Mega Man Battle Network."
But
Yeah.
listen, regardless,
For
as
me-
much as I hate the SP, they all play the same things and
Yeah,
are
Game Boy
considered the same
Advance
thing.
catalog is great. A lot of the first party stuff is just ports of Super Nintendo, which again, as we discussed earlier, hold up really well for the time. And then fucking
The
Golden
third
Sun.
party support on this is where like
Capcom was
Yeah.
bringing
so
the
many
heat
people.
at this point.
Yeah.
So many people
Yeah.
made such good fucking games for the GBA.
Pretty much
And
all the
Final
best
Fantasy
Mega Man
1 and
games are
2
present in some way or another.
Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Justice, or whatever it's called.
I
Which
even like
is-
those games.
The
Actually,
fucking
one of my-
Dragon Ball Z Game Boy Advance games.
Oh my god!
Fire Emblem in the
Whoa.
West. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Sorry, which incredible Dragon Ball game? The RPG or the fucking beat 'em up? Because they both kick.
Hey
ass.
Chris, yes.
Those games fuck.
I think I played mostly the RPG, which was really good. I fucking love that.
That game was really, it's
That
like
game
shockingly good.
Yeah, Ashes in the Hourglass points out it's the start of the Castlevania Golden Age. That's also true.
Man,
Yeah.
I was gonna
I
put
got- I
this
just
at
got
like the
that
top of
collection.
better. Can we put this in almost perfect?
I was saying capital C.
I was
What?
saying capital C, yeah.
I'm gonna say put it in capital C for now. When
See,
we
the
rank
only-
the
the-
other portables,
The
we'll get
only
there.
thing that's keeping me from putting in capital C is for most of the GBA's life, it didn't have a backlight. And it didn't
But
have
it did eventually.
eventually, but yeah, that's like fucking okay. The PlayStation 4 Pro had like 4K support later, which okay, whatever.
That's a fair counter.
Yeah.
Like I don't whatever. Okay, they added it at like a pretty late point for the GBA before the DS came out. So like
I think it's fair putting it almost perfect because of those kind of issues.
I
Plus
just
because
it wasn't a
DS
big enough leap yet from the color. It's like okay, I can hold it better. It's got a little bit better aspect ratio, and it has cooler games, but it's not quite.
It also has backwards compatibility. At least the ones
It
before
does.
SP did.
SP did as well.
SP did
SP
too.
did
Yeah.
as well.
It looked super awkward because it didn't make the perfect square anymore, but it did.
I mean, so did the
yeah,
the
same
GBA.
way
If you
with
put
the
a
other,
color
I guess,
Game Boy
Fair
game
point.
in there, it stuck out. All right, almost perfect.
Where are we putting this thing?
I'm fine
Okay,
with that. I'm
fine,
fine.
fine.
All right, we have next the original Xbox.
I mean,
I was gonna say the
Sony-
Xbox One, but that's incorrect because they can't name
Sony
consoles.
sighs in a relief as they defeat Nintendo, and then oh no,
as
oh,
they
fuck.
as they still defeat the Xbox.
and
Yeah,
and then they shove Xbox into a dumpster and move on with their day.
I mean, hey,
Halo's great.
I love
Otherwise,
this
this
console.
console's forgettable for me.
I love
Psychonauts,
this console. It should not be anything higher than better.
Yeah.
Halo was great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could forget this entire console.
David,
Overlord,
Yes,
Fable.
Fable, yeah, Fable.
I didn't
1.
play Fable, so that's a
Oh.
blind spot for me.
Psychonauts?
Yeah, listen,
Wait, no,
hey, Elise, Microsoft almost fucking killed that game. Because they
Beyond
originally,
Good and Evil.
originally, Microsoft was the fucking publishers of Psychonauts, and then they fucking left the project. So they're on my shit list for the first Xbox. Could it play Psychonauts and
KOTOR?
Beyond Good and Evil at the end of the day? Yes.
The
it
worst
could.
version of KOTOR.
The worst version of KOTOR,
so what
but
we
that's
put-
still KOTOR.
We put this in
Actually,
better.
Ironically, one of the best aging versions of KOTOR though, because it doesn't crash instantly.
Yeah.
Fucking goddamn. console.
What do y'all think? Better?
I'm fine with better.
I mean, looking at the consoles and could be better, I would put this above it.
Oh,
So,
also,
except for the
controllers,
Dreamcast, but
this thing's fucking rough, buddy.
Oh, dog, I love the Duke. And I know
I
I'm
hate
alone
the
on that
Duke.
one.
Duke
I know
is-
I'm alone on
Duke is
that one, but I
garbage.
love the Duke
The
controller.
Duke's as bad as the fucking Doug controller. What does the Doug button do?
The Duke
What
is
do-
literally
what do the black and white
Xbox saw the
buttons do?
Dreamcast controller and was like, okay, we can make one that big.
The Duke, if you
Oh,
hurl
it
at
is
someone's...
way bigger.
The Duke is up there with Killaman, but then
And
with
it-
the fucking
and it-
Game Gear.
And it doesn't feel cheap, unlike the Dreamcast controller, which
No, it feels
felt
like it's made of fucking iridium.
yeah, which was awesome. I was getting jacked while lifting my
Oh.
controller.
Soapy, we'll get to the PS3 controller.
Fuck going to the gym with the Virtual Boy. Just play games at home with your original Xbox Duke controller. You get jacked. It's great.
Shut the fuck up. They have good fighting games also. Had good Soul Calibur.
Shall we
seconds.
talk about the Nintendo DS?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people think this is the greatest console ever made.
I don't think that, but it is.
It's up there.
It's a
Very good.
The DS
good.
plays fucking, well, the original DS at least plays fucking Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance,
Yeah.
DS
Yeah.
games.
I didn't know it played Game Boy Color.
It does.
Yeah,
The
it
original
played-
one
it played-
does. I think
like
at
the
Light is where they stopped covering.
Okay.
Game
no
Boy
light,
Color.
so light
It
still
did.
color.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, because I had a light, and there's this thing where like there's a cutout in the corner of Game Boy Advance and color consoles or like cartridges.
Yeah, there was like a plastic thing you had to take out.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think you could like. I thought it was there because you couldn't actually do it because the light DS you couldn't insert the like larger Game Boy Color cartridges.
I can't remember if the Light played color or not. But it doesn't matter. The
Okay.
original DS
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
fucks. It has such a good library of games. The dual screen gimmick was actually fucking good a lot of the time.
Yeah, a lot of games
Uh,
used it. Even third-party games used it well.
A lot of games used
Uh,
it. Admittedly, a lot of games also used it extremely poorly, but like
For sure.
a lot of
There's a
games
ton
used it
shovelware,
well.
but like we're not gonna judge a
Yeah.
console by how much shovelware it had. Right?
Yeah, it's someone who is it in the chat said the DS had a lot of shovelware, but also the PlayStation 2 it did. So like you're right, 100%.
We're also in the middle of the shovelware era.
Exactly.
Well, not fully. I think like 360
The-
probably when that was at the highest,
There-
but yeah.
We're about
Yeah,
there. We're close
when
to
you
it.
Yeah.
We're entering.
We're entering. Like
here the DS and the Wii are like fucking shovelware gods.
yeah, I was gonna say the PS2
Xbox is underrated. The shovelware. God. They had a lot
PS2,
of garbage on
Xbox,
there.
and the DS is where we get a lot of like every single TV series and movie has a
Yeah.
shitty video game.
Deal or no deal. I
Deal
did
or
it,
no
Mom.
deal. God, what's
did
the
it, Mom.
fucking
I did it,
Cody in the
Mom, too.
house, baby? Let's go.
Yes, the Cody in the house for the Nintendo DS.
Cody in the house,
don't,
baby.
don't talk about that guy's fucking problematic as shit.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Cody,
oh, yeah.
no.
Oh, I
Kyle
didn't
Massey's
know.
a huge piece of garbage.
Cody, how
Oh.
could you do this to us?
I didn't know. Damn, that fucking
Also,
sucks.
we can't put the DS anywhere below capital C consoles because a little franchise called Ace Attorney.
I mean, that wouldn't stop me, but like,
That wouldn't stop me either, but
it also has like
yeah,
a fuckload of like it has Fire Emblem, it has like the last of the Advance Wars, granted probably also the worst of the Advance Wars, but they're still good.
It had some of the best Pokemon games of all time. It had a portable Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Pokemon Queen mentions Nintendogs.
A shit ton of great RPGs on it.
I have to remind you that all the Nintendogs have died because no one's fed them in
They're all dead.
years.
Bad
Unfortunately.
Zelda games, but you know,
Overall, yeah, I'm with
What
you.
Zelda games are-
Let's put
Oh,
the
fucking
fucking
Spirit
DS
Tracks
in the
and
capital C.
yeah.
Capital C for DS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, one negative against it. I hate the shape of the first one. I think the
That's fair.
light
It's-
is so much better.
Shade the Punisher points out the Ace Attorney games originated on the GPA. That is true.
That is
They
true.
just- they got ported
How
to
many
the
of them were on
West.
the GBA? Really?
The
Oh,
trilogy
yeah. The
was
first
all ported.
3 games were
Whoa,
originally Game
wait.
Boy Advance.
How early
Japan
did those come
only.
out?
What?
How early did those come out? It would have been like what?
The first one was
2003?
2001, and then like
one.
Yeah,
then
they
it was,
just
like, 2
straight
and
up
4.
weren't in the West at all until the
Yeah,
That's
they-
crazy.
yeah.
I like.
We weren't ready for those horny sprites.
I think I like the like feeling of the DS in your hands better, but the light was like more
the DS Lite's
pleasing.
great. Yeah.
Did it have the stupid microphone before the light?
I I think so.
I think
hated the
so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It had to. It had
Every
to,
game that
because-
used
I think it
that
was in
used
a
that
different
terribly.
place, but yes. Yeah, the
because
microphone was
you
stupid.
had to use it in Phoenix Wright as well.
All right, Zach.
Oh,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
no. Sorry, this isn't the Vita. My bad. Next, we got the
PSP.
handheld wars, baby. We got the PSP.
It's like a nut. You can play outside.
I love the PSP.
Oh, that will
If playing the PSP is cool, call me Miles Davis.
Yo, PSP.
It had some great ads. It had a couple really good games. It had Monster Hunter. It had like the best versions of Monster Hunter at the time, and for a long
The
time.
only versions, right?
Well,
No, it was on
there
DS.
was the original
Yes,
Monster
yeah.
Hunter on the PS2 that sucked.
Didn't
It
play
wasn't
that.
on DS. There was no Monster Hunter on DS.
Oh, it was 3DS.
Was that till 3DS?
Yeah, 3DS had the Monster Hunter.
Okay.
They
It
had a
had-
little stick.
I am
Birth by
gonna
Sleep,
bring.
which is all right.
Great game.
Kingdom Hearts
No, I love
game.
Birth by Sleep.
Listen, I'm gonna bring something up that might only appeal to Elise out of our group.
Okay.
The PSP is one of the best emulation machines that
Oh, for
has
sure.
ever existed.
I was gonna bring that up. That was literally the only reason anybody had this console was to break it. And
Yeah, that is the only reason I bought one of these was years after it was dead. I was like, oh, you know what? I want to emulate like everything from fucking NES up through GBA and some PlayStation 1 games. Let's go. Like the homebrew on this thing,
It was wild.
so good.
It had
Like-
the hit game Daxter of the Jack and Daxter.
Dax,
franchise.
it
I've
did
heard-
have Daxter.
I didn't play
Here's
that
the
game. I've
thing.
heard it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, people say it's really good. I've never played. It's the one game I haven't
Same
played
for-
in the franchise.
I think Clank is PSP too, isn't it? Or is that Vita?
Oh yeah, right. It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck.
There's two things I'll say against the PSP. Number one, it only had one analog stick.
True.
Which
Mm.
Which, I mean, let's be honest. Also,
Portable
first
console.
handheld with an analog stick.
Yeah.
that's true. That's very,
Yeah.
very
3DS
accurate.
analog
And
stick
you know
though,
what?
incredible.
So did the 3DS and the 2DS, and I'm gonna be putting those over. So, but still, it did only have one analog stick.
True.
The other thing is, its actual library that, like, aside
Not-
from
not very
emulating
good.
and parsing,
Not great.
not
Embarrassing.
great. There was a lot of. There's a couple great games.
Metal
like
Gear Acid.
and a bunch of like
Peace Walker.
Yeah, Peace
Yeah.
Walker was
that
PSP.
Vita.
Yeah.
That was Vita.
Fuck. God.
Oh, was
What
it?
if it was-
I thought it was PSP.
I'll double check, but
like PS2 games, but worse, right?
Yeah, I will also say, like, in terms of battery, they're like, here's this rechargeable thing that costs a lot of money because it shares
Oh,
the
it
same
was
battery
PSP.
as
Holy shit.
cameras,
Thought so.
which was kind of rough. Like, getting replaceable PSP batteries is rough.
Has the worst shape of a disc ever for a console.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those weird like
Oh my
fucking like square top things.
yeah, those are rough too.
Look at that.
I say this goes in almost perfect. I could see. it
Oh
being-
wow, I didn't. Okay, I didn't think you'd be placing it that high.
you are wild.
You're a
on
little
that
wild
one.
there, Elise. My argument was to get it up into like the dregs of better.
Really?
Yeah, I would not put it higher than that.
I want to say at least mid better.
Fine.
I'd give it
I mean,
bottom of better.
We're not arguing placements in the tiers
Okay,
yet, so
fine.
we
yeah,
can
this,
we can do better.
the whole claim to fame for this console was that you could break it and put whatever you wanted on it.
I don't know about that.
Zach, in like 4 more consoles, I'm gonna be going hard on that.
Oh yeah.
well, at least
yeah.
At least the
At
thing
least-
is, you'll be objectively correct at that point.
it depends. It depends on where the Wii lands. At least I don't know.
Oh my god. Moving on, we got the 360. Xbox is time to shine, baby.
Hey, Xbox is back with a good console. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, they
A
did
good
great job
console
with this
that
one.
bricks all the time.
Yeah.
Luckily,
But
it never
No.
happened to
really
me.
called it back. But
Did-
it did have one of the best controllers of all time. It did
Oh,
have a
yes.
ton of.
They haven't
absolutely, like,
actually changed it in
No,
since
they,
it came out.
They literally, they were like, "Hey, we found the perfect controller."
And then everyone and their grandmother started stealing it and making
Yeah.
slight.
The only argument now is whether offset
until
or
I die.
yeah, I was gonna say the only argument is whether you like offset or what is parallel sticks
Yeah.
better, which is entirely like
It's
a personal
so, like,
opinion.
Do you like your six cis or trans?
God damn it!
If anyone ever refers to them as anything else ever again, you're fucking out of here. because they're like cis sticks or trans sticks.
Damn it.
This
If I lick both in my pan,
the sweet. No, you're fine. You're just bi.
God damn it!
You're bisexual.
This
The fucking
that's good.
even Nintendo, who can't make a fucking controller save their goddamn lives, ripped off the Xbox and fucking like, this is perfect. And this is my favorite controller. It's a fucking Nintendo Xbox knockoff.
Yeah.
And it had a ton of great games. Like we knock on COD, but it did have like Modern Warfare 2, and that game was actually pretty good.
It had Halo 3 and 4. It had Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that is still selling to this day.
This still lost to the PS3.
It's hard to, like, start
Technically
talking about
over time due to Blu-rays winning that war. Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about like how good the PS or the Xbox library is, because this is where it starts to be just like, this is just games, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Xbox games or PS3 games. This is just games, and most games were on both.
And like, what were the big exclusives? Halo at the time. I guess
Halo.
Killzone was kind of important for this.
For
this is the last time.
the generation, yes.
Yeah, it would die immediately after, but at the time,
Uncharted for PlayStation.
Uncharted, yeah.
Last
Gears
of
of
Us
War
for PlayStation. Gears of
for
War for
Xbox.
Gears,
Xbox.
Gears counts, yeah.
Alan Wake, I didn't know was an Xbox
It
exclusive.
was. For you JRPG folks, specifically not in Japan, Tales of Vesperia and Blue Dragon, Xbox exclusives.
Oh, and what's that crazy?
And
good
Lost
JRPG that
Odyssey.
Nobody fucking played. Lost Odyssey. Yep,
I was just saying,
in the chat.
An hour ago, what's that?
Lost Odyssey
Everyone
in
loves
chat.
Lost. Well, everyone who played Lost Odyssey loves Lost Odyssey,
So
but
85
only
people.
about 3. Yeah, I was gonna say only about 3 people played it. I do want to play.
Here's
it
the thing: I am absolutely going to put the 360 above the PlayStation 3 because the PlayStation 3.
Yes,
We'll get to it.
Good.
I think as a generation, this was another like weird growing pains one that I think Xbox handled better. So I give them props. Like,
I agree.
this is the beginning of digital age.
I was just saying, I will say this huge thing that puts this console over is how good Xbox did their online.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't even
better.
I wasn't even going to talk about online. I specifically was going to talk about how you can download games to the console and put storage space on the fucking console. Because Xbox, like, hey, let's make our hard drive very easily replaceable. And PlayStation 3 was like, hello.
What? You have to unscrew it if you want to change it. By the way, get fucked.
Yeah. So, like, the Xbox, literally the only thing that I would knock Xbox, and I would knock them significantly for it, is how extensive the rendering was.
It happened to me. I had to buy a whole other console.
Like, I cannot put this in a capital C no matter what because of how bad that was.
No.
And I'm almost like, I don't want to put in almost perfect because of how prevalent and bad the rendering was.
Well, didn't they mostly fix it with the Slim?
The arcade.
Which is what most people had.
That's the thing. They had to release a version of the console that was slightly cheaper,
because of how fucking broken the original
how bad
was.
it
was. That's true. And I'm not saying put it in capital C, but I think just this generation, I consider this like, maybe it's just me being the age I am, but this was like the first console I bought with my own money. I bought it in 2011, November 11th, 2011, to play Skyrim. Because our computer at the time couldn't. And I put a ton of time into this thing. To me, this is where like modern consoles start. Because what is the difference between a 360, a PS3, and like a PS5?
Just power.
It's like just the power, but not a lot else, like fundamentally, right?
But the Kinect, at least.
This is also like the true beginning.
I associate Kinect more with the next gen.
Yeah, no. I was specifying it for the next gen.
This also begins the true 1-to-1, where like it is just Xbox versus PlayStation.
And then Nintendo fucking
Nintendo lives in their own island and makes $1 billion doing whatever the fuck they want.
I'm good with putting this in almost perfect.
I agree. I think
this
also
is Xbox's best console. So
and like Xbox Live, we can't understand how.
Debatably, we could talk about current gen, but whatever.
Yeah.
Also, what it did for indie games with the what do you call it?
The XBLA
arcade.
Oh my god! Xbox Live Arcade was incredible. Fucking Geometry Wars.
Like,
are you fucking
man?
kidding?
If this
Geometry Wars got so over.
If this console didn't die 50% of the time, it would be in capital C.
The amount of fucking college parties I went to where people were just like, it was college party, people hang out and drinking or smoking, whatever, and one person just playing Geometry Wars, and the whole party's like, fuck yeah. That's rad. Just let that guy do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I looked at what's next, sorry.
Oh, no!
It's the
Here
Wii.
comes the fight.
Nintendo console. No, I don't think that.
My family got a Wii like years before I got a PS or an Xbox 360, but I didn't actually realize it came out after.
So the stuff that came out the same year may not be in exact order. I will say that.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think the Wii was the year after the Xbox 360.
okay.
I think
I don't
Xbox
know why I think
360
that, but I
came
think that.
before Wii and PlayStation 3, like by a year. I think Wii and PS3 were the next year.
Oh, yeah. I think Wii and
so.
PS3 came out the same year. Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Yeah,
I think so.
2005. Oh, dang.
So,
I bought an Xbox 360 6 years after it came out, and that still had a couple years of life in it.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
consoles in general, like 7 to 8 years is how long they last. But yeah, I know Zach's gonna disagree with us heavily. Wii fucks.
This
The Wii does fuck.
fucking console is so good, and I can't believe I'm going to say this live in front of other people, but I think what this console did for motion controls is actually amazing and important.
Motion controls are ass.
They're terrible, and they're always going to be terrible.
I mean,
Yeah.
They would be.
Then why are we
Except
praising this console for
Chris,
it?
But
except
they're
for
going
VR.
to keep fucking doing them.
Motion
and
controls
they're
in
going
VR
to
are
do them
good.
in VR, exactly, because they're going to have to. And
The
like
Wii does not get fucking points for that.
it does, dude.
It does.
It does.
This drove.
I don't know that I give it
fucking
as many
motion
points as Chris
controls
does, even though I love VR. But
It
I-
also it had a huge and good library.
Yes.
Like,
it had a fuckload of good games. Did it?
Strongly
Did it
disagree
have a
with
fucklload of
that.
shovelware too? Absolutely, yes, it did. It
Yeah,
absolutely
Sorry,
did.
I'm sorry.
Hold on,
Mr. Metroid Prime doesn't like the Wii?
GameCube, you dumbass.
Was it on 3? Was 3 on GameCube?
3 was on
it
Wii.
was on Wii, and they also released
The trilogy.
Prime Collection
Or Prime
trilogy.
Yeah.
So
with
suck my
better
butt?
controls.
The
No.
last game you got on this console was on it. 1/3 of that franchise is on this console.
Okay, but like,
I think
it's also
3
the
is.
worst one.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 is the one people will hate the most. So
Really?
So,
Okay.
so
I
hold
like-
the phone. I pulled up a list of the best 25 Wii games of all time. Number 1 is Skyward Sword, the worst Zelda game.
Okay,
Number
that list you're
2,
reading is
Mario
terrible.
Galaxy. It's IGN. Number 2 is
Mario
Mario
Galaxy is
Galaxy.
Fucking
Great.
amazing.
Great. Mario
Galaxy
Galaxy
2.
1, 2,
Yep.
great games.
Mhm.
Brawl, which, hey, I actually think is
Well,
good.
Brawl's
It's-
great.
It's
I think
yeah.
it's a very fun Smash. It's obviously probably got problems.
Number 6 on the list, it instantly goes to Donkey Kong Country Returns. Then
Never
goes to
played that.
Twilight
I like that.
Princess, which again
Great
is better
game.
on the GameCube.
Better on game.
No.
I mean,
It goes to New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Then it goes to number 9 is Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All Stars. Get the fuck out of
That's
here!
a good game. That's a good game.
It is a good game, but like,
Sorry, it's a good game. Fuck you.
no, but like you could put a gun to 70 people's heads, and guess what? 70 of them would die because they don't know what this game is.
That's very true.
I don't know what that game is, so you can put me on that list. It's got No More Heroes on this list, Zach.
I do like No More Heroes.
No More Heroes, Xenoblade Chronicles,
Bridge.
the Dead Space game, the Paper Mario game that people are met on.
The bad Dead Space game?
Why is Okami on? Okay, IGN, your Wii list is insane because fucking Fire
That
Emblem is
version
on
of
here.
Okami is incredible.
Oh, it is. Never. Fire Emblem's here.
Yeah, but like,
We got Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, which is a fucking great game. There's
And
the
here's the
Punch Out
thing.
game that you
Here's the
love.
thing.
You love Punch Out, Zach. Punch Out's on here.
it's the worst Punch Out game.
It's terrible.
There's WarioWare Smooth Moves, Zach.
It's a great Wario.
Wii
Wario
Sports
game.
Resort.
It's one of my least favorite WarioWare games. We've
And
had this
Wii.
conversation. It's
Super
one of my
Mario
least
Brothers
favorite
Wii,
WarioWare games.
Twilight
Don't understand
Princess.
you. That's such a good WarioWare game.
It's a good one, but I'd rather play the other ones.
It's got a bunch of good, and it hit like I will say though, like we also had a ton of games that were like good but wouldn't be on a top 25 too. Like
Wii motherfucking sports.
Wii Sports, Wii Fit,
Wii Sports,
Uh,
great game.
Sonic at the Vancouver 2012
Shut up.
Olympic
Shut up.
Mario
No,
Kart.
no,
I
no,
would
no, she's
I
right.
would put
She's
Just
right.
Dance on this list. Like why the fuck is that not on top 25? Like
I mean,
realistically
it sold
speaking.
a bajillion copies, so yeah.
And it's a great like objectively speaking, it is a great game. Is that game for everyone? No, but it is a great game.
It's a fun game. It's a fun.
Like, there's so much good shit in the Wii. And like, yeah,
I'm
there's
just
also
saying-
a lot of horrid shit in the Wii. But
The reason I don't like the Wii, boiled down simply, is controller is absolute booty. Motion control sucks. Counterpoint 2.
yeah, I also don't hate the Wiimote plus
library.
nunchuck.
The library of games, I think,
Right.
is of Nintendo's weakest.
I like the Wiimote / nunchuck same way I like the Joy-Cons. It's like I can chill with like my arms at my side. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
honestly,
comfy.
I think I spent more time holding them like just kind of in my lap, like kind of like cross
Yeah.
like this, just kind of like whatever, than actually like moving them because fuck that.
I would rather play literally any other Nintendo console. than
Link's
the Wii.
crossbow training.
Like, but
And-
also, I don't.
And it has
agree.
backwards compatibility, and that's
It
a huge
does.
thing to y'all.
does,
But,
which
like,
is huge.
For me, if I'm ranking consoles, I'm like, what does it play? And it plays dog shit. So
It's also
That's what
super
I'm
easy
saying.
to break and to put other shit on there that you weren't supposed to have on there.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Not that that matters, but
I would
Kirby's
put
Epic
Wii
Yard.
in almost perfect or capital C.
I think it's almost
I
perfect.
think it's almost perfect. I think Zach's an idiot.
Yeah.
Almost perfect. 3 people. There.
so-
All right, folks. We got the PlayStation 3 next.
Here's the thing: we just talked about the Xbox 360. These are the same console.
Except this one's worse.
This one's worse in like almost
There's so
every
worse
single
things.
way. the-
Sorry, Europe.
If you lucked out and you got like the fat PlayStation 3, cool. You can play PlayStation 2 and 1 games. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I didn't
If
even
you're-
get on the Fat Boy.
Yeah, the fat one basically has an entire PlayStation 2 in it.
yeah.
Fuck me.
Hardware and all. Yeah.
That's
What
why it
about
was
that one?
600.
That's why it was.
I
That's
hate it.
part of why it was so fucking expensive at
Yeah.
release.
Mm.
Uh,
That's why I didn't buy it at release. I waited
Yeah.
a couple years.
Same.
me too.
Same.
So I didn't. Well, actually, I didn't get it until the PS4 was out. But actually, I didn't get it until I
I
moved
got
to
it pretty. I
California.
got it like a year and a half.
I got it in
maybe
like
2 years before the PS4.
2016, I think, is when I got a PS3.
I remember because I bought this one and then the PS4 was coming out. And I was like, "You motherfuckers! I just bought this fucking thing."
But yeah, here's the thing: PlayStation 3 controller, worst controller they've made. Period.
That's fair.
Including
Exception of maybe one.
No, including the PS1. The PS3 controller is such a flimsy piece of shit.
It is very.
Uh,
it
They
is. It
decided
is.
that
yeah.
every button on it needed to be analog.
It's
Yeah.
such a piece of shit. I hate the
Somebody
controller.
Shut the fuck up about Haze.
The battery life on them is
Which
terrible.
one? By
Yeah.
the way?
The
Almost like the PS5.
like PlayStation 3
Oh,
had
God.
the least amount of third-party software like in that era because of the stupid fucking cell processor. And like
Yeah.
it took until the last like 2 years of the thing fucking existing to have good games.
Mhm.
The fact that today, in a world where PlayStation will let you emulate all of their games on the PlayStation 5, but it can't do it with the PlayStation 3 games, you have to play them
You
streaming.
have to stream
Because
them.
the way the PlayStation 3 was constructed makes it fucking impossible to emulate its games.
So bad.
Is so buck.
It's
I mean,
such a
everybody
piece of
hated
shit.
developing. for this game.
That's been explained to me 100 times. By the way, I still don't fucking understand how that could possibly be true. It
I
just
know.
doesn't make any
It's
fucking
such a piece
What
of shit.
did they fucking make it out of? Like, is there a labyrinth
Yeah.
built inside of it to keep fucking
Yeah.
minotaurs?
It's
in? Like, I don't
basically
get it.
the way
So-
the way all other CPUs work without going into like extreme details that even I don't super understand. Like the way you have to emulate that is so inefficient for processors that are not that type of processor that like unless you have a modern like my computer can emulate PS3 and it's generally okay. Of course it has bugs and shit. All emulators do. But like doing it on a PS5 gets super sketchy because then you're not even running on like a normal like PC. You're specifically for the PS5 tied into their hardware. So it's such a fucking mess. I hate this console. It didn't have a lot of games until like the basically Naughty Dog games, 3 out of 4 of which I don't like.
You don't like.
So
yeah.
like PS3 can suck a dick. I could put it in could be better. I could be convinced to put it there.
It's
I think it goes in better. I think this is basically the Xbox 360 but worse. Which
It's just it's just how much worse is it?
Yeah. and I think it's not actually that much worse.
I mean, several people in the chat saying this started the Soul series, which like yeah,
Demon's Souls.
but
But also,
with the one that
only
Also,
has
it
Demon's Souls.
didn't-
Fuck that, because I
but-
want to play Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
Jason in the chat, I miss this day, and people underscore the GameCube. Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
You didn't miss anything. The GameCube's exactly where it's supposed to be. In fact, I'd
No.
argue it's too high. The PlayStation 3 did have Heavy Rain, as Sophie points out, so put it in trash tier because it's fucking.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's virtual boy tier.
No.
I think this is
This is PlayStation's worst console.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Probably.
I don't think Sony would disagree with you.
Yeah.
Is it better than the PSP?
Oh no.
Okay, best console that isn't handheld.
So you
Worst
put-
console, sorry.
Is it better, or were you doing could be better? Because PSP
I see
is
that.
better.
I guess.
Yeah, it should be better. It
I
should
guess
be better.
PSP's better. I don't give a shit.
Looking at all the things that could be better, the PlayStation 3 is better than
Okay,
all of them.
okay.
So
All right. Next we have the 3DS.
oh baby.
Hey, this console has
Okay.
no reason to be as good as it fucking is.
Hey, it's my turn to hate
Bangers.
on a console this time.
What?
So hold on before we even start with this. The 3D on this thing is fucking stupid and terrible and gives people
Yes.
crazy headaches.
Yes, you
Yes.
just turn it off, you ignore it,
And
you take
yes,
it out.
exactly. Unless
Yeah,
you play
which
Kid
at that
Icarus
point it's a
Uprising.
DS.
Yes, exactly.
It's a 2DS, David.
But it's got the better processing power. And okay, there's a reason that the only
teardrops
consoles I
on my
have in my possession, I guess, because I've got a fucking PC that I do everything on, is my Switch right here, which is kind of broken right now because it doesn't take charge from the
Oh,
dock, and this shit right here, because for one, it's got a huge, enormous library, plus virtual console shit, plus like emulators, plus homebrew, and we'll get into that in a sec. It's also got, I mean, we're talking about the 3DS, but also 2DS can go into this discussion.
it's the
and we'll
same.
talk
Yeah,
about
it's the
that
same
later.
thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's fucking really comfortable to play. It's the most comfortable handheld console I've ever played. It's got Monster Hunter. It's got fucking.
They added a little thing just for Monster Hunter players.
Yes.
They
What did they add for
because
Monster
Hunter is
Hunter?
fucking amazing, and that's why I bought this thing. I bought this thing so I could play Monster Hunter on it, and then I like homebrewed it, and then I played like 150 fucking games on it because it's that good. And there's a reason I still keep it basically with arm's reach of me, because there's a ton of games that I always want to play on this. It's got Fire Emblem. It's got like some of the best Fire Emblems. I know Jason might disagree, but like even I disagree. I think Three Houses and Path of Radiance are better, but still,
It has great Fire Emblems
does.
on it.
yeah.
Undoubtedly.
It has Awakening, which did incredible things for bringing the series back to a
Oh,
level.
I mean, like-
it made it popular.
And
Yeah,
like
it
Fates,
let you make the anime girls fuck, which is all
yeah,
everyone
and like
cares about.
Fates is like certain ones are good. It varies which one you play, and like a bunch of the FE games for 3DS are really good.
One thing I will say, it does only have one analog stick, which I did knock the PSP for. But Monster Hunter, okay, for two things. One, the new 3DS had the fucking nubbin, which
Yeah, fuck that
and it
thing.
had this.
It's so
There's also
stupid.
the Circle Pad Plus, but fuck those. The other thing is Monster Hunter. Literally on the bottom screen, you could like customize what you want it to be there. And one of the things you could have like lock-ons for your different monsters. You could have like your switch skills on your in generations. You could also have a virtual D-pad that controls the camera. And honestly,
Oh, that's crazy.
the combination
That's
of
dope.
having
That's dope.
that and then also being able to like press just one of the shoulder buttons to lock onto the monster, to like look at the monster like there is in Monster Hunter nowadays. That was introduced for the 3DS, but that made 3D games.
This at least Monster Hunter isn't on the tier list. I'm sorry.
But
Sophie has a
that
point with that.
actually-
Yes,
But no, actually, Elise has a point in that like Monster Hunter was a huge deal on this console specifically because
sure.
it moved units, yeah, guys.
like
Here's-
Monster Hunter's
here
crazy.
is the
man.
fucking thing. Here is the fucking thing. The 3DS is, I would argue, probably the only console on this list who was like, hey, we're going to iterate on the one previously, and we're going to literally make it worse by adding 3D. The fact that
They
everyone's
did
like,
make
I
it
turn it off because it's so
Yeah, but,
bad. And the only reason they had to up
Headaches.
the only reason they had to up the specs for half of this shit is because they added 3D. if they didn't add 3D, they wouldn't even end up the specs. They could have just kept selling on the DDS for most of the games. Now listen, when you get to the Monster Hunter and stuff, yes, absolutely, it wasn't ready. Well, the normal DS wouldn't have played shit like that.
Awakening would have ran on fucking.
It absolutely could have. Awakening was not like
Awakening
intensive.
is a pretty booty game, but
minus the 3D.
And here's my ace in the hole. Is that we've talked about fucking the Wii having homebrew. We've talked about the PSP having like emulation, and it is good at that.
But fighting
But
for your child.
here's the thing: I can play all those games super well,
He's a little dusty, but we love him.
and it's like
That's the max. That's what I
the
have.
Wii. The Wii is great at emulation. I can play that on my PC. I can emulate that. But this is handheld. This is comfortable, and I can play a ton of games that like were DS games. I can emulate DS games for free on this thing. I can download any fucking 3DS game I want on this thing for free. Like, and then I can play them. And that's why I played like 150 different games on this, but I've played like 2 games on my Switch.
Look
what I'm trying to say
at the fucking size of this lad.
Yeah, it's
this
great.
thing is
Big lad.
fucking huge.
Big lad.
Awesome. The
Big
3DS, new 3DS XL is so good though.
Put this
I
on the
love
could kill a man tier. Let's go.
Yeah.
Look at this
that.
thing.
For me,
You can put an SD card in this bitch.
we're going so long, and all I'm trying to say is this console had fucking games.
So
And-
many games.
And as Elise pointed out, you can break it and add more games on it.
the catalog
It's
on
the PSP, but
Listen,
actually has games.
I know I'm going to lose this argument, but I think design-wise, the 3DS, other than they just fucking upped the specs because it's been 10 years since the DS came out. Other than that, is lower than the DS because they literally all the features they added, other than hey, the processor's better, are worse. And like, yeah, it has homebrew. It has the homebrew stuff, which I'm pretty sure the normal DS has that too. And if the 3DS didn't exist, people would have been just doing it with the DS because it's
So
the
he
same
points
thing
out
with
3DS
worse
is
hardware.
also backwards compatible. If
3DS
we're
is
using that
backwards
shit,
compatible.
fucking this goes capital C.
Yeah,
3DS
absolutely.
loses GBA, doesn't it? Or is that just the
Yeah,
newer
but it
3DS?
has- but it
It does, but
regular
it has
DS.
it has the virtual console kind of for GBA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
a
can't play
lot of
GBA
GBA made on that
Yeah.
virtual console. That
Yeah.
virtual console, by the
No,
way, is
actually,
like way bigger than
Chris-
it should be.
Chris,
Oh.
you're kind of wrong because the GBA virtual console was exclusive to the ambassador program or whatever it's called for the people who bought the original
which is
3DS.
fucking
Oh
insane.
yeah, I do remember that.
And a bunch of
but-
stupid
but-
shit like that.
You can
Oh.
because everyone who has one of these has cracked it, or at
Yep.
least should. You can import any
did.
GBA ROM into virtual console onto your from your
They
PC.
literally just could have released the 3DS again with a better processor, and it would have been better than the 3DS.
Hey,
That is my
hey,
argument.
Hey,
I
hey,
bought an
hey.
XL and broke it that
Jason's in
day.
the chat. Jason's in
All
the
right,
chat.
Jason, do your run-in.
hey, look, you fucked me on the N64.
Thank
You
you.
fucked me on the GameCube.
Thank you.
You guys have very bad taste. You're putting the 3DS above whatever the fuck you're arguing right now.
Listen,
Better than
I'm
the
just
shit
saying
you're
it shouldn't be
arguing.
capital C. That's all I'm saying.
No, it should
capital
be.
C.
I'm
It's
saying,
capital C.
Jason, I'm saying push it to the fucking moon. It's all.
Like,
Yes.
No, this is
Look,
this
dude,
is top of the top.
4
Guys,
out of 5 people
guys,
saying capital
Guys,
C. It's
I
capital
play like 6 games nowadays, okay? Like 6.
And
And
5 of
like
them are
3
on
of them
this
are on the
console.
3DS. So like, come on. I don't have much going for
Now
me, okay?
listen, I knew I was gonna
It's a
I knew I was
Friday
gonna
night.
lose this argument.
I'm
I knew I was
fucking
gonna lose
just
the
sitting here
argument.
by myself. It's a Friday night. I don't have anything.
He's
Give me
not
the
even on a
3DS, dude.
podcast.
I'm not even on a podcast. You know what? You got it. You got to give me the 3DS.
What is a white man with
I
no
moved it up.
podcast?
It's in the capital
Chris is in the
C.
chat now.
It's in the capital C, the inferior out of the
Guys,
3DS and
guys.
2D and the normal DS.
Guys,
Cringe.
guys, video games.
Whoa!
Hell yeah.
Hot take, Pridge.
How many people we here? All right, everybody roll initiative. We'll start.
No. Don't worry. I have to go eat and do some stuff. and
Goodbye.
Finish
It's
doing it.
10
But
o'clock.
I was waiting for
Hey.
Io to come in too.
I went to I went to a stream, to a game. I gotta get food. I gotta
Okay.
make sure
So
3DS
go
isn't
eat.
getting
It's 10 o'clock.
fucked.
It's 10 o'clock.
I gotta make sure 3DS. I gotta.
It's in there. It's in there.
to do. I'll be, you guys. You're doing a fine job, Kaiser.
I'm sorry
So
the
what
else?
N64
I'm trying,
ended up
man.
so low.
Kaiser, if you got the GameCube higher, I would have not flamed you. But
I'm sorry the
dude.
GameCube didn't
Dude, I'm
end up
trying. I'm against
lower.
3 other people. Don't know what they're talking about.
Zach, we're boys. Good
Thank
job.
you.
I'll see
Get
you
out
later.
of here, you scamp.
All right. Good luck, guys. Have fun.
And the next thing we have here is 2DS. And
2DS.
is just the 3DS, but better.
At least
It's more comfortable.
Wild.
no, everybody.
Fucking goes up. It's cheaper. It's like you could get one of these for like $100 Canadian, like 70 American.
It
and
hurts
do
to
everything.
hold.
so ugly. It's the ugliest piece of garbage
This is
ever.
the most comfortable.
Elise,
handheld
your
console
wrists have genetic anomalies.
Um,
No one cares about the 3D, so they just took it out.
yeah, but
and
why'd
no
they
one-
make it like that? Why'd they make it
Because
look like that?
money.
No, no,
And
no,
also,
Why
it
just
won't
make it
break.
look like that?
2 reasons they made it look like that. One is so the kids could throw it across the room and still survive.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
Is that legit? Why?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
because the
Okay,
hinge
Chris-
was the weakest point of the DS.
Right, of course. Yeah.
The 2DS was literally the no head console, and throw it on the ground and it would be fine. You could pick
I
it back
appreciate
up.
that meme. Now I would like everyone to shut the fuck up, and I would like Elise to explain her fucking Smash Bros. Controller bullshit.
Okay. On the
I'll be
Wii
back.
U, on Smash for the Wii U, you can connect up a 2DS like to the Wii U like directly to use as a controller for Smash 4. Here's my take. One thing. What attacks do you do in Smash? You do smash attacks by smashing the stick all the way to the side.
Unless
and
you're
then press
me
the
and
button.
are a psychopath, but yes.
And then
Yes.
you can also do fucking tilt attacks by not smashing and tapping a button. If you're using a GameCube controller, it takes so much more effort and like travel to do that. And then also, speaking of travel on the GameCube controller, you use those fucking shoulder buttons. They travel like 5 kilometers before you get a shield or a grab it. This one is just a little tap, just a little tap, a little tap. You got a shield and you got your grab, and that's all you need, right? And then you've got your buttons for attack, special, and then jump, right? That's all you need. And it's the fact that it is like the small travel distance just being buttons, that is what makes it, in my opinion, one of the best Smash controllers. The same argument goes for the Joy-Cons. That's also why I like Joy-Cons for Smash.
Look, we've had a lot of weird takes on these podcasts over the years. I think that the 2DS is a good Smash controller. It's possibly one of the craziest we've ever
It
had.
might be, yeah. It might be.
Oh shit!
I mean, you just listen to me make my argument. Is my argument wrong? Is there any
hold on.
holes in that argument?
In chat, tier list makers, is that the real tier list people? Saying, can tell there's a few emotions going on in here.
Yo, what?
Elise, listen. On the travel times, I get it.
I don't.
Like,
I
I
do, but
don't agree, but I understand. Is where I'm at. Like, I don't agree, but I understand. Everything else, I just don't agree.
So insane. Sophie, unfortunately, you cannot bring a Taiko Drum Master Drum to Evo to compete in anything major. However, you can absolutely compete in toilet tournaments with that shit. And people have.
Can we put the 2DS in almost perfect and move on? Because it's
2DS
3DS but
is
worse.
Oh, okay. That makes
It's
more
the
sense.
2DS. It's the 3DS, but better.
No, Elise, it's
No,
not.
it's- put it next to the, no. Don't
Elise,
put it,
if they released the 3DS, literally design unchanged, but the 3D removed for $50 cheaper, I would put that on capital C without question.
They did that. It's called the new 2DS XL.
Yeah, and I have that because it's really good, but that was such like a
God
one-off
damn it.
thing that I didn't put it on this list.
Let's move on. We've been
Here's-
streaming for 2 hours.
No,
here's
didn't
the
mean to put
problem.
there. Didn't mean to put there.
Here's the problem of putting it anywhere is because I don't think it should even qualify. It's not a
Listen,
fucking Decepticon.
We put this on so Elise would get her soapbox moment about
Yeah,
the
and now we should
2DS.
delete it.
Hang on, I got it. I got it.
Why'd you put it at the top? Ah, of course. Where it belongs.
No, no.
up in heaven because angels deserve to fly.
Sure.
Here, there.
R.I.P.
How about that?
2DS. Oh. Come on.
All right. Next we
All right,
got
Vita means life.
we got life
worst
itself.
dead console ever.
Fuck
Life
you.
itself, the Vita.
is absolutely incredible.
I agree with that actually, except it's mostly for porn games, which does get points in my book.
It's got
Yeah.
a ton of JRPGs. Like a ton of JRPGs.
Fucking Persona 4 Golden.
It does have the best
Yeah.
version of Persona 4. which also was a PlayStation 2 game, so I won't necessarily
Yeah,
give Vita points for that.
Yeah, but like Persona 4 Golden.
It is the best version of it. That's true. But
Yeah,
it's also
again,
now available on Steam in a pretty shitty version.
PS2 game.
Danganronpa.
I don't care.
That's
about
the
that
regular
series.
PSP. I'm pretty sure
It was there, but I played them on the Vita. Gravity Rush.
Which
The
was on
PS4 version's
PlayStation
better.
3 and 4.
I mean, let me put it this way: the Vita to me is like how the Switch is really great with indies and making them portable.
Vita was very
The
good
Vita-
at that.
The
Yeah.
Vita was just like fucking shit tons of portable indies on. Like,
That's true,
With,
that's
with
true.
a great screen.
And the
That I
screen's
could play on
incredible.
the subway.
That's
Yeah, I had such a blast. Like I played. That was how I put like over 100 hours into Binding of Isaac.
You could also hack
Jesus
the absolute motherfuck out of this thing
You can.
very easily.
It is
Yeah.
more involved than like a PSP or a 2DS.
Yeah, it wasn't as
It
easy as the
also-
PSP, but it was doable.
The other thing is the SD card situation, because of the PSP's piracy like shenanigans, and they
Oh,
just
they
made
made,
it
like, the-
worse in general.
Yeah, what
They
is it,
made
like
their,
a
like,
custom?
proprietary-
Yeah, custom memory cards for the Vita. Not
Yeah,
great. I
But
agree
you
with that.
can get like basically one of those that's like a shell that you put an actual SD card in, and that works. But you kind of need to do that if you're gonna like crack it and do piracy
Hmm.
things on it, which is not actually that huge of a barrier, but still. And once you do that, it is an amazing like piracy console.
I don't super care about the Vita. I didn't
It had the
play
most
Vita.
hentai games of any console ever.
Good for them.
It's got to be worth something.
We putting this in better? We putting this in almost perfect? Where's
I
life
think
go?
it's almost perfect for me. I don't know about Zach.
Looking at what's in, I mean, you put the fucking GameCube in better. This isn't better than the GameCube.
It also knocked Sony out of the fucking handheld race.
Yeah, but
It did.
It also has one of the worst slogans ever.
Vita means life.
But Vita means
hold
life.
on,
No,
hold on.
that's
It's actually
good.
it
Fuck
actually
you.
is a good
It's a good
slogan.
logo.
It actually is a very good slogan. The problem is that the Vita died so hard that it became
a meme, yeah.
Let's put it in better and move on.
Yeah, above the GameCube where it belongs.
I think Sophie said that like 5 minutes ago in the chat. Just
All
put
right.
it in better and move on.
Wii U.
Yo, the Wii U's not that fucking bad. Shut
Yeah,
up.
I think the Wii is actually pretty good.
If you all fucking talk shit on the GameCube, talk up the Wii, and you say the Wii U isn't bad, you are fucking crazy.
The Wii U's not that fucking bad.
Apart
It's
from
pretty
Nintendo
bad.
Land, which genuinely is one of the best launch titles of all time, the Wii U fucking sucks.
It's got the
Nothing.
second best
It has
Smash game.
no games.
It has a not
It's
great
got-
library. Its internals are not that much better than the Wii. You're mostly playing for the gamepad, which at that point just make the Switch, which they did. But like,
Which they did, yeah.
but I'm
And-
not gonna give this console props for doing something bad that they then did better with a different console.
Yes.
Okay.
The main thing
Also, one
against
of the
Wii U
worst
right now-
controllers. And
No,
that's
you're
saying
wrong.
something.
You're wrong.
Oh, I actually
Um,
don't hate it. It's
It
heavy.
feels like a
Yes.
fruity plastic toy.
It's fine.
Every-
Yeah.
Every game that was good on the Wii U, or almost every game at least, is on the Switch now. Has been ported, upgraded for the Switch.
Yeah, which
That's
also
the main-
wasn't that
All
many.
6 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't that many.
Now, like honestly, there's not that many games in this fucking console. I'll even stand here and say that. It did have Splatoon. Great
Did.
fucking game.
It did.
It did
Yeah.
have Hyrule Warriors, which I actually like. I know
Monster Hunter.
Hyrule
it's
Warriors
it's
launched
derisive.
on
It's
Switch
derisive,
too,
and I
didn't it?
understand that. I'm fine with that. I think actually what this console does have
Technically,
really
it's Breath of the
fucking
Wild,
solid-
you know?
Oh, shut the fuck
Best
up.
game of all time.
A friend
I played
of mine who fucking loves Zelda played it on this first and was like, I don't know if Breath of the Wild is that good. And then played it on the Switch, was like, oh, okay, I understand now.
It also
Breath
has
of the Wild,
Zombie
I'm rating it on-
U.
It does have Zombie U, a game that people claim is good, but I refuse to believe them.
It wasn't good. I had it.
This game had this console had a really, really, really good back catalog via the Wii Shop shit.
Mhm.
And
Which they
I'm
then
gonna
didn't
defend.
port to Switch. I'm so
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's the whole thing.
Like a really good version of Chrono Trigger is on there that you can't get on Switch. What the fuck
Yeah,
is wrong with you people?
this console is like full of paradoxes and stupidity. Like I
Mhm.
hate this console.
So if you just
Yeah.
laid in your fucking bed in college with this thing and then fucking used it as basically a Switch 0.1, fucking it was pretty good.
I will defend.
Anyway,
I like
put it in could be
Dreamcast.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any Nintendo console apart from maybe the NES that we'd rank higher than this? Not including the Virtual Boy because that doesn't count.
I mean, I
Just
think
discount the virtual.
I think it's kind of
Yes.
like the same as the NES.
So could be better. Here we go. Good. Moving on.
Great.
Next we are almost to modern times. We have the Xbox One.
Did any of us own this console?
This thing did not have video games on it.
It didn't have video games. They shot themselves in the foot repeatedly with it. It had Kinect, which is better as a security system than as a piece of the console.
But it's also a
not even a
racist
joke.
camera.
They use it in airports as a security camera because it's better for that than using it with a fucking console.
So funny.
They pushed the worst things. They tried to go digital, like literally like 2 years too early.
It'll be your cable
not,
box.
I kid you not. I fucking looked up Xbox One exclusives just to see
And
what
they're
it had.
bad.
There's
The
nothing on
first
there.
game that came up was
Everything got
a Zito
canceled.
Cross Tatsunoko Legends. Chris, there you fucking go.
I mean, that's just alphabetical.
I know, but it's
But
funny.
that's
that
also-
It had
Tatsunoko
Halo
came up again. It was
5,
fucking
Yeah,
great.
which
Tatsunoko
people
getting
didn't
shoved and shit
like
in.
that much.
Yeah,
The
it,
thing
it,
is,
And like
it had
Gears
the majority
4,
of Xbox's worst first parties.
yeah,
and
even
then,
and then no real third party exclusives.
Yeah, and it had everything that the PlayStation 4 had, but the PlayStation 4 was just a better console.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, once you got to the One X, people were like, "Oh, if you're doing like 4K gaming, the One X, if it is on the One X, is better for third party games." But otherwise, like, Garbo, I would say
I'm going to go
better.
back for this a little bit because you're right that it is just the PS4 but worse. And I don't think anyone's here is going to say that the PS4 is worse than the Xbox One. The thing is, almost everything that came out in this period that came out on consoles was on both of these things.
Yep.
And at that point, you can't really say that like the PS4 is leagues and leagues, like tiers and tiers above the Xbox One when they do like 99% of the same shit.
Yeah, just
I'm not
Xbox
gonna
made
say-
all their features worse.
I mean, I would say at this point, what are really the exclusives? I guess it's Halo and Uncharted again, and this has the worst Halo game ever on it, and Uncharted, I guess,
And
was
some of
pretty
the
fine at
worst
time.
I think Gears 4 wasn't really a liked Gears either.
It killed the Gears
It
franchise.
I mean,
has
Gears
some
5
Overdrive, which people liked. Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which genuinely is very good.
Was that not on both?
Blind Forest. No,
yeah.
that's an
Blind
Xbox
Forest
exclusive.
was on this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exclusive.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Quantum Break, which some people liked.
No, shut up.
A couple people liked, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like exclusives weren't great. It went hard on Kinect when that was dying already, like halfway
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
360 having it. They
My
just
point is, wherever you put the PS4, just put this like at the bottom of the top of the last tier, at the bottom of the same tier.
I would
right?
put PS4 one tier above this. I would put this in better. I would put PS4 in almost perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're spoiling the PS4 up here, but yes.
But,
I mean, for these
I
two
feel like they
especially,
have
I
to
feel like
be-
you can talk about at the same time. Yeah.
Because as we get into this gen, it's very apples and orange. Well, not apples and orange. It's apples and apples, and then
Yes.
Nintendo's the orange.
Well, we're gonna reach this current gen where like nothing's out.
Yeah.
Games haven't released yet.
That's not true. Yeah, I mean, I'm for putting the Xbox One in better and the PS4 in almost perfect.
Works for me.
All right, let's put that in, and then we talk about PS4 briefly because there's not much to say that we didn't just say basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about most of it. PS4 better in
Same
general.
shit, better games.
I will say, PS4 does have PSVR, and Xbox does not have an equivalent.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and PSVR, like,
I like my
PSVR is
I had
pretty
PSVR, I loved
decent.
it. Yeah.
it's got flaws, but at least it functions and it has a future.
And it
Kinect
was
doesn't have a future.
for the time a lot more affordable than buying a gaming PC that could run VR.
Absolutely.
So
And then buying a headset.
and then
like
buying a
Oculus.
headset, which was also expensive.
Back in the chat just said y'all should
Uh,
speed run tier making.
Both of these have really great controllers. I used a DualShock
Yes.
4 for like 5 years.
100%.
DualShock
It's a great
4
controller.
Great
up
controller.
until the Switch Pro controller was my favorite controller.
DualShock 4 is
Sitting-
great. Xbox One controller, great. I own a couple of them, and I don't even own an Xbox One.
DualShock
So
4, honestly, a pretty good fighting game controller.
Yeah.
Like, you should never use pad, but if you're using pad, it's pretty good.
yeah, I mean they had a couple dumb things on the PS4 controller that
Bloodborne.
could have been better.
Bloodborne, yeah.
Bloodborne exists. Yeah, PS4 like games wise blows the one out of the water.
I honestly just think like there were so fucking few exclusives this whole gen.
Not on PS4. Are you fucking insane? They had so many.
Yeah, no, PS4 had a lot.
PS4 had so
about?
many fucking exclusives. They had God of War. They had Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima.
Right, God of War. Fuck, I think about that.
Ghost of
I thought
Tsushima. They
Fucking
had some infamous
Bloodborne,
games.
Chris.
I know, I said that.
Bloodborne.
Oh, sorry.
The
Last
Uncharted
Guardian.
4, if you're into that. The Last Guardian.
Play the Last Guardian, Zach.
Days Gone, Dreams.
They
I
had
think
a-
Days Gone's PS5.
No,
what
Until Dawn.
else did they have? Concrete
Persona 5.
Genie, which I
Until
liked.
Dawn, yeah, good call.
Concrete Genie was good. Yeah, they had a fuckload of.
Oh,
Exclusives. Didn't they have one of the Street Fighters, Chris?
No.
Was Street Fighter 4
What
exclusive
wasn't
to
Street Fighter
PS4?
5 PS4 exclusive?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely on PC, but I don't
Was
know.
that- I mean, I
if
For
it's
played-
on-
console
Console
exclusive.
I played it on PC. What am I, a fucking psychopath?
No, it was a console exclusive. Like they had
actually,
so
no,
many.
sorry, you are correct. You are correct. It was it wasn't a year though. It was like 6 months or some bullshit.
Oh, I thought it was longer. They had a bunch of timed exclusivity too on like Call of Duty and a bunch of other stuff.
This was
too.
also by the way, this gen was the fucking birth of that.
Like PS4 just slapped the shit out of Xbox One this gen, like in so many ways. The
Yes.
disc sharing thing and not doing like the stupid
the
DRM stuff.
introduction of the PlayStation 4 is like one of the most brutal takedowns in history, and absolutely is the reason why they beat Xbox.
Yeah,
this gen.
it was so huge. They had
Incredible.
so much better stuff. PSN in general is still kind of inferior to XBLA, but like your XBL.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. Agree. I'll give you that.
All right, moving on. We got the Switch, baby. And I believe the last time we talked about this in a Nintendo ranking, the Switch had not been out very long. That was like
No.
2019.
And
that
we
talked
we
about
were-
it.
And we
very
ranked it,
high on it.
and we
back
ranked
then.
it in the top 5, I believe.
And hey, folks, I would still put the Switch in fucking capital C consoles. Absolutely.
This is a great console.
Switch
This
fucks.
is a great console. Here's my pitch. I've had a Switch for like almost 2 years. I've played like 3 games on it.
Now, Elise, counterpoint.
Mhm.
If you could jailbreak your Switch, would you play a lot more games on it?
I would play more exclusives, but the other thing is, my use case for the Switch, like the way that I use it is I just plug it into my monitor, my like main monitor, and it's just a worse way of playing games than PC.
Haven't
For me,
you also?
it's an exclusive, exclusively a handheld. So
Yeah, same. Haven't you
I think
actually?
it's a bad handheld.
No.
I think it's.
I
an
do swap it all the
uncomfortable
time, so I'm the use case they planned for. I swap.
Actually,
it.
my house is too because Vic plays it on TV. I usually play it handheld, so that's separate. Counterpoint to Elise again. Haven't you played a fuck ton of Switch games, albeit via Crime?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I played Breath of the Wild by emulating the CMU, which is Wii U. I played Dread emulating. I played Pokemon, the Legends Arceus by emulating.
Okay, not as many as I
think
thought.
that's it. I think that's all. And then I played on this thing, Monster Hunter and Pokemon Unite.
Miyamoto, I know he listens. He's fuming right now because of this.
Right.
The main thing is, games are so expensive.
Oh, you,
on
Chris, I believe you summoned me.
Hey, shit, what's going on? We're not talking about anything.
Hey, how's it going?
How did he
Switch is Switch is pretty good, huh?
Great
Are you
console.
kidding me?
Big fan. I'm going to try to get in capital C consoles just for you, sir.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
I can't fucking wait, by the way, for them to do such a good job with that like mix match between portable and like put it in a thing. For them to go, all right, we're not doing a portable one anymore. Get fucked. We're doing some weird bullshit for Nintendo.
God, I'll be so mad. But like, I do think the Switch has more potential than it has used, specifically for like virtual console and like emulating handhelds and playing playing handheld games in the handheld with like the Switch. Like, I think it could have been even better than it is, but like the Switch has so many great and varied uses, like everything from, you know, using Joy-Con specifically for motion controls, for like party games and stuff, to Ring Fit Adventure, to putting them, you know, on the actual console and doing it handheld, to playing with like your friend who's sitting next to you on an airplane, to like, which y'all remember when they showed us that shit when the Switch was first announced, we're all like, you're insane, we would never do that. And then wait a year and a half, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what?
So
sometimes I'll be at a restaurant with some friends and we'll pull out a Switch and play like that. Okay.
We do have to talk about drift.
Yeah, I was gonna say like David started bringing up its flaws, and there are flaws of yes, there are certain things it does not utilize extremely well. The lack of virtual console is, in my opinion, kind of inexcusable. I understand they're going for a more subscription model, but the games they have
that
are
it's not
great.
in the subscription, really.
Yeah,
it's the wild
but also
it's wild.
We're what? How this was 2017?
This console is almost 7 years old now.
2014. 2017. So 5 years old.
It's 5 years old, guys. Almost 6.
Yeah, and we're 5 years in, and that virtual console thing, even via subscription, doesn't really exist good yet.
No.
Utterly insane.
And then the Drift, which I've bought 2 of their $70 Joy-Cons, and both of them have Drift.
The price of Joy-Cons
too high
is inexcusable.
Yes.
When this costs actually cheaper than a set of Joy-Cons, and this is not going to drift.
Yeah, well, the fucking entire console itself is $300, and buying an extra controller is almost a third of it.
$80 bucks.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that part's wild.
Every time.
Which I have gotten lucky. None of my Joy-Cons have drifted. Like,
our left one is so bad.
I know I'm in the minority there. Of like, none of mine have drifted, so like that problem is just like I ignore it.
You're me with the red ring. Yeah.
Jason's saying that alone puts it in C. I mean, I disagree.
Don't agree with that. Yeah,
pretty strongly, but I mean, we put the Xbox 360 in almost perfect. It almost actually broke entirely. So
I would actually probably bump it down an entire tier because of the drift. I wasn't thinking about it. I think that does take it out of capital.
I mean, I'm fine with putting it in almost perfect.
Because
considering the entire
we put better consoles.
We put 360 in almost perfect because the entire fucking thing died and had to be sent to Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Like the controller feels like a bit too much to bring it down into almost perfect from capital C.
My thing is, I've been down on the Switch. It's also one of 2 video game consoles that I own for a reason. Like, my pitch that was like being down on it was to not put it in capital C, was to put it in almost perfect, because I would just rather not play games on it if at all possible. But I mean,
here's the thing.
Terrible pitch, at least.
I would like to not play games on this. We should put it in almost perfect.
If I get a Steam Deck this year, I will be probably very okay with putting this in almost perfect.
Yeah,
because
that's also like the thing with that too is the Steam Deck in general more expensive and also coming out 6 years later.
It's twice as much as a Switch.
Yeah, and coming out 6 years later, so it's like
not a purchasable item. Like you can get in a queue, enjoy getting it in a year and a half.
It's like I may at the time of buying it, I may like this Steam Deck better, but like that's because it's been 5-6 years and the Switch hardware is just out of date.
Well, also you can actually get sales on games on Steam. Can't do that on the fucking
Nintendo. Goddamn it! All right, we putting this in almost perfect or capital C.
I'm fine with almost perfect.
Almost perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am outvoted on almost perfect on that one.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Now we are in truly modern
I hate
consoles.
the fucking 2DS tier being in there now.
That's where it goes, baby.
We'll just put it down here, and it's like it's excluded, but not actually. It's not actually the bottom. It's not in contention. No, Zach's right. Putting that above the Switch hurt me.
Put it above Virtual Boy. Put it above Virtual Boy.
Jason's still
no, because no, because like Virtual Boy is the bottom of the bottom, and 2DS is like its own thing.
That's why I wanted it on top. It's in heaven.
I can just fucking delete it at this point, you know?
Yeah, you should. You should.
Delete it. It's gone. It's gone.
We talked about it for so long. You can't delete it.
Well, it's there.
It's gone. Done.
It's off the screen.
Xbox Series X and S versus the PlayStation 5. I figure we'll probably have to talk about both of these at the same time.
Boy, so many games have come out for these consoles.
Like, actually, kind of a lot.
The elephant in the room.
And only so many copies of these consoles have come
out.
That's the bigger thing. How many times did Chris try to get a PS5? Someone who remembers?
69.
73?
The correct answer is exactly 69 attempts till I got it.
69.
Damn.
Here's the thing.
As we keep growing up in the release dates, gets more and more prevalent is the PCs exist. And
yes,
I say that gets more and more prevalent as we keep going up is because that, like, in the NES days, NES games for NES games. In like on all the handhelds, those games are handheld games. But like, what is the difference between having a Xbox Series X, and having a PC with Game Pass? And the answer is the PC is more expensive, but also does literally everything.
Yeah.
And that's my pitch as like, these are just PCs that only play games.
I mean, I think at the current time, it's largely arguing like, hey, how are the controllers? How are the like features and stuff? Because I'll be honest, I love my PS5. Load times are great. I'm pretty sure that if I was playing them on an Xbox Series X, they'd be pretty comparable. So at that point, it's like features, at which point I do think PlayStation is behind in a lot of ways. There's
no quick resume.
There's no quick resume, and I personally think the PlayStation 5 UI is bad.
Yeah,
like
just it's worse than the 4.
It's outright bad. Like it's worse than PS4, and which is worse than Xbox.
The controller's pretty fucking good though.
Yeah, but like
the controller
also
feels great, but it also dies in 27 minutes.
It does not have good battery life, and
Battery
like the haptics are cool. But also, when I bought a extra controller to use with my TV, I bought a Xbox Series controller, and I don't even own an Xbox.
The Xbox Series controller is absolutely the better
because
controller.
other than the haptics, the Xbox controller is better in every other way, shape, and form.
You know what? That's a good point. That's very fair. I would agree.
I do like this controller though. I think it's good.
They're both great controllers.
Best controller, so
they're both great controllers. I just think
the battery life was as good as the DualShock, I agree with you, but it's not.
Yeah, and I've actually kind of flipped on the rechargeable versus like buy batteries thing.
DualShock still uses, or not DualShock. Xbox still uses,
and that's where I flipped. Actually,
batteries.
I've flipped on that because of how low the battery life is on the the DualSense. I'm like, well, I'm fucking charging all the time. I might as well just buy rechargeable batteries, and then if over time. I can easily replace rechargeable batteries. I cannot easily replace the battery inside the DualSense. I have to take that motherfucker apart. So I've flipped on that argument. Like I know when it came out, I was on the other side, but I have flipped to the other side.
I hit the PlayStation button on accident on that controller, and it turned the one in our bedroom on.
Nice.
Hey, good range though, you know?
Yeah, it's impressive. It's fucking several hundred feet.
But yeah, like overall, I'd put the Xbox Series X above the PS5, I think. In everything except for library, PS5 actually has games. And the Series X, it has Game Pass, but it doesn't.
But also
that is also big.
But that also means I have no reason to buy the Xbox itself.
That's true
that too. And it's really just like there aren't any exclusives coming from Xbox yet. Really, we got Halo Infinite, which I was pretty lukewarm on.
Yeah,
the Forza games, and then like PlayStation is still releasing like. Good games. It's just not that many.
Like I was bemoaning no releases, and like PS5 does have releases. What the fuck has Xbox had that's actually come out that isn't exclusive?
Halo Infinite, Forza, and Forza is huge. Forza is huge, not to us, but it is huge.
Forza's massive. I'll give you that one.
Was Gears 5 series or is that Xbox One?
Gears 5 is series.
That's series.
Really?
I think Lisa's correct.
I think it was Xbox One. I think it was like one of the last games.
Here's my pitch for the Xbox.
No, it's Xbox One. It's Xbox
for the
One.
Xbox One S or Xbox X.
Yeah, it was 2019. It was right at the end. Yeah.
My pitch for the Xbox is if you were like a family that didn't have anything that you could game on except like your mom's work laptop, right? I would recommend buying Xbox Series S/X. I would recommend, getting if you. As long as you know that you can make the payments, I would recommend getting like this subscription thing where it's like paid off over a year or two because that's cheaper.
100%.
It also gives you Game Pass, and then you can just say that's like what $25 a month for a year or two, and then your kids have all the games on Game Pass, and you never have to buy them another game. That's a huge pitch.
Yeah,
I looked up a list of Xbox Series X and S exclusives. This list includes 10 retail games. And 5 of them are not out yet. It's including Avowed, which I don't even know if that will be exclusive. Everwild, Fable. Like these games aren't out. Hellblade 2. These games aren't out. You can't list them as exclusives yet.
Yeah.
So it has 5 exclusives. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
I do think Xbox deserves points for doing the S and the X, which are very different. Like, and like they're actually priced.
100%. 100% they deserve points for that. I think that's
and Sony should lose points because they charge you $100 to have a fucking disc drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they did it, but yeah,
and the one without a disc drive, it's only 500 gigabytes.
Yeah, even the disc one has like 800 gigs. It's not that big.
They fucking that's
and you have to
bullwhackery
install the whole
by
game even if it's running from the disc anyway. So like you're still using the same amount of hard drive space. So like I think
we want to put these in the same rank, I guess is what we're trying to say, and then what we're ranking to.
I think they're probably the same. Although I would rank objectively the Xbox over the PS5, and that's me. That's me owning a PS5, just because the Xbox has so many extra features, and like the controller's better,
but it has no exclusives, and this is a console.
Games.
Yeah, here's the thing too.
Console.
Yeah, it is. Like I get that, but also it doesn't have a lot of first-party exclusives. It does get a lot of third-party exclusives pretty frequently.
I don't know about exclusives, but it has.
Let me rephrase: timed exclusives very frequently. They get a lot of like 1-year exclusivity deals.
Got no Ratchet,
like all the time.
It doesn't have Ratchet. It doesn't have Demon's Souls. It doesn't have Astro's Playroom. But also, that's like 5 games that are actually like.
I would say 2 of those 3, and the third one being Astros. I wasn't that out on, so like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like at this point do not actually matter that much. They don't matter that much. There's like a couple games that you can live with that.
The PS5
was 7 remake on Xbox.
I think so.
No,
it wasn't. Then David, you're full of shit.
It was on PS4, dog.
Are we gonna put them? Are we gonna put them in almost perfect or better? What are we doing? Or could be better?
I'd put them both in almost perfect, but I'd put PS5 lower.
I'd put them both in better.
I could go either way.
Oh, dude, the whole SSD load times are gone thing is just too good for me to put.
It is really good.
But I buy consoles to play games, and neither of them really have much.
Yeah, but the ones they do have, they load really well.
David, you convinced me.
You ever go back and play like an old game, and you're like, man.
Yeah, I play it on my computer.
These fucking load times, dude. Or like I'm playing old games on like my phone. I'm like, oh man, good thing there's a fast forward for these fucking load times.
Disney Hourglass, basically, the point is it's almost too early for almost perfect, which is kind of how I feel.
I agree.
I feel like the consoles themselves
both grow into it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like the games are coming. We know what is coming largely, and a lot of them are going to be bangers.
But that's also assuming they'll be bangers, they probably yes, they almost certainly will, because we don't live in a game of games.
Basically, for this one, because there isn't the library, I am just comparing the actual consoles and features, and
that's fair.
Xbox wins.
Fair.
I'm saying put them both in better. That's how I feel.
I'm also very eager to buy a Series X when I can. They're just sold out fucking everywhere because they don't these fucking superconductor shortages and never-ending plague.
Yeah. I mean, and also like the PlayStation 5 is still selling many more than the PS4 did. It's just demand is way higher right now too. Yeah,
that's true.
Let's move on so we can dunk on Stadia.
Where are we putting these?
I think we said it on better.
I say better.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man. Okay, I'll put them towards the top.
Yeah, we also have to do a meeting after this.
Oh, I forgot about that. Right. Yeah. All right, Cloud. Well, congratulations. Here we go.
Oh,
you know what?
xCloud's got potential.
xCloud actually exists.
No, put xCloud in could.
No, it could be better.
Yeah.
Listen, I have played demos of Stadia and Luna, and I've played like xCloud legit, and they're all kind of the same, but xCloud just runs generally about the same.
Microsoft has the fucking balls to stay in the fucking race.
And has games. It has games is the main one. It has games.
xCloud has Game Pass. Is the thing. You need to buy Stadia and Luna games.
And Stadia and Luna did really dumb things and were like pushing Stadia specifically. God, I don't know if any of y'all were at conventions for Stadia before 2020 fucking happened. They were pushing Doom so fucking hard, and I'm like, listen, Eternal, I believe it was.
It was Eternal. Eternal's on that.
They're pushing that so fucking hard to be like, look at how perfect our thing is, and it wasn't.
Look how
I'm
low our latency is. Oh shit!
I'm like, dog, show me not this. Whereas xCloud was like, hey, our thing's in beta. Here's a variety of games. Some of them work, like the RPGs are pretty good, and like anything that's turn-based is great. And then once you get into an action game like DMC or like Doom or something, it works. But yeah, you're gonna have a better experience on a console. Like they were very upfront, and like it had the games to back it up. So like, and it worked on your phone much better than I think Stadia or Luna. I don't even know if they support your phone. Like I think Stadia supports very specific phone versions or something.
I think it supports Google phones only.
Yeah, like it's so wild. And
Look, as someone that owns one, fuck off, I'm not doing that shit.
And like it did take xCloud a while to get to like PC and stuff, but now it's basically at the point where if you can open Edge or like an internet browser, you can play xCloud wherever, and like it's just good. There's still kinks to work out that are largely,
for sure.
Honestly, largely not even in Microsoft's hands. It's in the United States infrastructure for internet. But I almost want to put that in better, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet.
Agreed. It's like Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 could be an almost perfect or even better, but we're not there yet. So that's where they are.
Folks, we did it.
We did it.
Folks,
at the top, 2.5 hours, but we did it.
Honestly, that's about what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's about
folks, at the top, at capital C consoles, we have the PS2, and these are not in order. We're not ordering them, so don't get in a hissy fit about like, oh, the 3DS is over the DS. I'm mad about it, or like the PSP is on the same tier as the Vita or whatever. It's just they're on the same tier. They're not ordered in the tier. So at the capital C consoles, we have PlayStation 2, Super Nintendo, the 3DS, and the DS. At almost perfect B tier or A tier, depending on if you're doing A or S-based grading, we got the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 1, the Game Boy Advance, the Wii, fuck you, Zach, PlayStation 4, and the Nintendo Switch. And then in better, we have Series X and S, PS5, mainly due to neither of those things having much in the way of games yet. The GameCube, Game Boy Color. Sorry. Shut up, Chris. N64, the Genesis? Yes, Genesis. Mega Drive is Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Master System is Genesis.
Always fucking.
Mega Drive is the old one.
No, Master System's the old one, at least.
Jason said he would have fought for the GameCube to be higher. He should have been here.
We could have gotten it to the next tier. I'm pretty sure.
We could have gotten it to almost perfect.
Yeah, it wouldn't have gotten capitals C. No, we could have gotten it to almost
perfect. You fucking think the GameCube is as good as the PlayStation 4 and the Switch?
No.
Chris, listen.
I'm with you on this.
Shut the fuck
on the same tier.
You don't believe that. You do not believe
it's better than PlayStation 1.
Moving on. Okay, we got the Genesis in the better tier. We got the Genesis in the better tier. We got the original Game Boy, the original Xbox, the PSP, PlayStation 3, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation Vita. Down in the C tier, the could be better tier, we have the Dreamcast, rest in peace, Sega. I guess Sega consoles.
They tried.
The Atari 7800, the NES, the Sega Master System, the Sega Game Gear. This tier is just the Sega tier. I'm renaming this tier. This tier's the Sega tier. We got the Sega Saturn system, we got the Wii U, and we got Project xCloud. And then at the bottom of the barrel, we got the Virtual Boy tier. With the Atari 2600, influential, still not a good thing. The Virtual Boy, Stadia, and Luna, and then on its own island, aside from all these tiers, living its best life, as Elise would say, the best way to play Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. We have the Nintendo 2DS.
I'm sorry, the Virtual Boy tier has two things from like the 70s and 80s, and then jump to cloud gaming.
The Virtual Boy was the 90s, Chris.
Was it that late?
Yeah. It was like it was like 94, dude.
It was right before the N64.
I believe it came out after. Oh, sorry, it was the 1995. It came out after the PlayStation 1.
It came out the same year as I did. The Virtual Boy got released when I came out.
I was there for the midnight launch of Chris.
I was a night boy.
Oh, Ashes in the Hourglass asks, where's the Ouya Virtual Boy tier?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, the Ouya.
It's virtual. We don't have to talk about it. It's the Virtual Boy
what could have
tier.
been and never was.
Folks, thank you for coming to this.
Whew.
This was fun. This was very fun. We knew some of the arguments that were coming because we had them on content literally like 3 or 4 years ago. It's been so long since we talked about
Yeah.
this.
And they haven't changed even a little bit.
Nope.
I concede on the Virtual Boy. I'll give that one happened.
That's fair. Yeah, you've grown. The rest of us haven't.
Folks, it's been fun. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked what you heard or watched, give us a like, give us a rating on your podcast services if you're listening. Check us out if you like us a lot on patreon.com/savedatateam. All your socials /savedatateam. If you like Chris in particular, tune into twitch.tv/streaming our way during the week, usually on Save Data Team off days. They stream some cool stuff over there. And let's see, if you're listening to this before 2:30 Eastern on August 6th, tune in for Professor Layton with Chris, Vic, and Zach. That'll be tomorrow. Yeah, coming up pretty soon. Anything else we need to talk about? I see we started rating on Twitch, so I have only a few seconds.
No, you have time until I click go. You're good.
I mean, there's a bar that's like counting down.
Yeah, it's like over
Twitch
30 seconds. Are you gonna spend more than that?
No, I was asking, like, are there more?
Stop arguing, wrap it up!
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Until next time,
Goodbye.
the GameCube was robbed.
Thank you.
A PlayStation 2 startup noise.